What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN Game Scoop. I'm your host, Damon Hadfield. Joining me this week is Justin Davis, Sam Claiborne,
Mag Pooks,
and Ryan McCaffrey.
Howdy.
We've got a great show for you this week. We're going to talk about Horizon Zero Dawn. We are going to talk about the new game from the creator of Spelunky. I don't know if you guys heard about this.
No.
It's very cool. But first, Middle-earth: Shadow of War. Found out it's going to have microtransactions. What do you...
I just think they're funny. They're funny. Go ahead. Tell the audience what they are.
Staple of Middle-earth lore.
Oh, yeah. The official word, the developer is Monolith. Is that correct?
Yes.
They say players can purchase loot chests, war chests, XP boosts, and bundles through the market to strengthen their army. Using, there's an in-game currency and then gold, which you buy with real-world money. Players have the option of purchasing gold, and it can be acquired by spending real money. Also, participating in community challenges and completing specific milestones will earn you gold as well. There's been a strong reaction from the IGN commenters, but first, give me your reaction. How do you feel about a $60 single-player game having microtransactions for not just cosmetic items?
I think the randomized loot chest is the worst part of this. That is the thing where it's like, if I want whatever it's going to be, maybe it's something cool like Aragorn's, sword or something like that.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then I only want that. Then do I have to roll it a bunch?
Loot chests, man. You can't escape them anymore. They're everywhere. They're going to be everywhere, especially next year. They're already everywhere. I think, you said $60 single player game with loot chests. The operative word there for me is single player, actually. It's not $60 because Overwatch is $60, but it has loot chests. To me, cosmetic items, whatever. You want a blue hat for your character, buy the blue hat for your character. But cosmetic items, I think, only have value in a multiplayer context. In a single-player game, it feels way grosser and makes a lot less sense than in a game like Overwatch. If you really want a legendary skin or you really want to show off in an MMO, so you buy, the elephant mount or whatever.
Hopefully they're cool things that you would want to play with and change the game. But then again, you're just paying for things that aren't in the game. But I think I'm not saying this is a good thing, but there is one sliver of devil's advocacy here, where we all used to buy Game Shark discs to mess with our games, and we all used to buy Game Genie to augment our games, and a lot of this is just cheating. It's
It's
XP.
just skipping parts of the game, right?
Yeah, it's like getting XP or gold, and it's basically we did do that to third parties at one point. So it's kind of interesting. If GTA withheld their cheats next time and just sold them, it would be awful. But we have done that before.
I want to pick up on something Justin said, and that's single player. And for me, I'm a big proponent of, I love single player games. The older I get, the less time I want to spend playing online with other people.
Sure.
And, quality single player games have been fewer and further between overall this generation. Games as service is the way to be now. Titanfall and Battlefront, and then finally we're getting campaigns attached to those sequels. But I think I don't like this at all. However, I think it's kind of a necessary evil in order to have good single-player games. Because all these games, the reason they're all multiplayer and games of service is so that they can have long financial tails. So if these loot boxes and loot crates are what it's going to take for us to continue to get good quality single-player focused games developed,
as opposed to just a price hike.
No, as opposed to them not getting made at all and just having the publisher say
that would be another way to do it, right? It's just
the game was just $70.
raise the tag of the game.
Well, that's not going to happen. That's just,
no, I know.
I'm
just saying that would solve the same problem for them.
It would, but yeah, I don't, so again, I don't like it, but I think we kind of have to grin and bear it for now if we want single player games.
I mean, I think, again, multiplayer games do this. They do special events and double XP weekends and stuff like that to goose up their player base, because the more people that are playing a game like Overwatch, the better the experience is for everybody. There's more people to matchmake against, and just more. You need as many people in that game as possible, then they make more money, and then, there's, a better multiplayer experience. And in a single-player context, I don't think loot boxes make any sense, and they feel a lot grosser.
Well, what about Borderlands? Borderlands had plenty loot boxes, right?
Well, but not this style of loot box.
Okay.
And it was also a multiplayer game.
Well, I guess, yeah.
If you wanted
it was a single player game for me.
Yeah.
Sure, and for a lot of people. But I mean, if you wanted to customize the appearance or the vocal barks or whatever of your character, there's a certain sense that you're doing that for the other people that you're going to be playing.
Yeah, sure. The official explanation from Monolith reads, by simply engaging with the world and playing through Middle-earth Shadow of War, you earn items like gear for Talion and unique orcs for your army. These are the same items that are found in the market within loot chests and war chests. Gold merely allows you to get your hands on them immediately, cutting down some of the additional time that would have been spent winning more battles, tracking nemesis, completing quests, and assaulting fortresses. So like playing the
Need to
game.
win.
Just pay money to not
Exactly.
give us extra money, and you won't
So,
have
like,
to play the game.
I want to play Shadow of War, but I don't want to purchase any of these microtransactions. So I wonder, is it going to feel like it's just been padded?
That's on the
To me,
designers.
like right.
I mean, I gotta figure that in a number of these cases, I don't know about Monolith specifically, but I've got to figure in a lot of cases these decisions come down from the publisher on high, and they're told,
Yeah.
"Okay, developers, put this
mean,
in."
they're the
And
ones
the developers,
paying for it, right?
Yeah, I would think the developers. A lot of cases, again, I don't work at these companies, but I got to figure it doesn't always go over well internally. But that's the business reality. So it's on the designers to implement it in as smooth and fair a way as possible.
We also, piggybacking off something you said earlier about the business side of it, it protects against used game sales. If you buy a game secondhand, the publisher gets $0, and that's different than used cars or this and that, where that's part of the card system. So now, for every copy of the game that's sold used, Monolith and WB have an opportunity to at least extract a little bit of revenue out of people because a certain percentage of them will buy loot boxes, and you previously couldn't do that in a single player only game.
Have you guys seen how this has been around in Japan for a while, but you can buy like a randomized toy and like you open it up.
Yeah,
like,
blind boxes. They do.
blind boxes, capsule
Yeah,
Yeah,
machines.
they do those. I mean, it's taken over the whole gambling, everything, and the collectible scene and the video game scene is pretty gross.
Yeah, so I was at Disneyland this year, and they had like those like blind boxes for the Stormtrooper pins, and the people I was with really wanted this David Bowie one. It was like David Bowie Stormtrooper, and like the others were not nearly as cool as that.
Yeah.
It was like the Ziggy Stardust Lightning Bolt. It was super cool, but like they kept dipping back into it, and like I was like, how much are those? And they were like over $20. It was like,
What?
something really expensive.
Wow.
And and like I think both of them had spent like over $100 by the end, and they were those type of people that this like hooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's that random roll like.
Yeah.
There's totally an economy and a philosophy around whales and like all this stuff behind that, where like people will keep on buying things randomly to get the thing they want.
It's taken over mobile games. It's taken over a lot of stuff. You used to have just a line of like 20 figures. You're into One Piece, here's these 21 piece figures, but now they're all blind boxes. And if you want the character you want, like, good luck.
Whoever developed that, such a smart move.
On their part.
Also a dick move.
The reaction from the IGN readers on our news story was almost entirely negative. Comments saying there's no excuse for this. Microtransactions and full-priced retail games are not okay. One guy said, "Okay, I'm not buying it at launch. I'll wait when it's $20 or less on PSN."
Small messaging footnote. Remember, like a month ago when Monolith announced that really cool fan service thing where you'd be able to import your nemesis from Shadow of Mordor? They should have
reversed.
They should have announced this loot box thing first, and then come with the fan service thing to just smooth it over a little bit.
Yeah.
I will say the excuse for like the blind boxes that Sam and I were talking about is trading. I mean, the real reason is making more money, but the outward facing reason is, well, you'll collect these figures and you'll trade for the ones you want. But again, I keep coming back to the single player game thing. There's not even any economy to sort of, like, okay, I don't want this, but I want this, and to trade with your friends. So
Totally.
I don't know. It's no good.
Well, Middle-earth Shadow of War is out October 10th. I'm still, I still want to check out the game, still want to play it. I like the first game a lot. And
great.
hopefully the microtransactions don't.
There's a lot of
spoil
depth to it. We actually just posted a bunch of new video on IGN. Went down and
just
played
days
it
ago,
some
right?
more. Yeah, and it's. I don't mean to insult Assassin's Creed, but it sort of feels like a sort of more fully fleshed out, deeper Assassin's Creed, excluding Origins, because we're just sort of diving into that now.
Yeah.
But there's a lot going on in Shadow of War. It seems really good.
Yeah.
It doesn't turn me off to it. I
No.
mean, I'm annoyed that like it even exists and we have to talk about it. But
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
we'll
just
have
not
to-
going to buy them, and who cares?
That's what Damon said before. Like, we'll have to see how grindy it feels. Like,
Yeah.
if it feels grindy and they're like, hey, you loot boxes, then that's a really, really different game than if you just
Yeah.
play it and it doesn't even, it's not a thing you need to ever pay attention to.
Speaking of release dates, we got a release date for Horizon Zero Dawn's first expansion, The Frozen Wilds. It is out November 7th.
It's late.
Is that release date have any significance to anyone else?
Xbox One X. Hey, don't buy that console. Keep playing this cool game you already have on your PS4.
It will undoubtedly be optimized for PS4 Pro and look very gorgeous.
Game's already stunning on
man,
PS4 Pro.
If they do tune it up for Pro.
Yeah, that is the same release date as Xbox One X and Crackdown 3, of course.
It looks like it's in like it looks like Yellowstone or something. There's like these weird chemical pools
Well, it's
or
supposed
volcanic pools. Did you
Oasis
see the hot
areas
springs in
and-
the
yeah.
image?
Maybe I didn't catch it.
It's so cool. So it's like an image of this big panoramic view of the mountains, and it's like winter. And I thought the same thing as you. Oh, it's just going to be either northern or up in the mountains or something. But then there's these those rainbow colored pools that I think are from Yellowstone.
It's really gorgeous. I mean, but it's also no different. You know, when Skyrim was first announced, we're like, so how boring, you know, a big snowy continent. But then there's a swamp and there's other stuff. Like, I expect this to be similar to that.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, Horizon is a PlayStation 4 exclusive. Do you think it's a play by Sony to sort of like gain or pull some attention away from the launch of the Xbox One X?
No,
just totally. They just thought
Well,
that.
what I do think it is, though, is if you look like, you know, Sony, they've got these great, they've got the third-party marketing partnerships, so they've sort of got the mind share, as it were, on Battlefront 2 and on Destiny 2. But first-party wise, they've got Gran Turismo Sport, and then Uncharted is not even really holiday because it's coming out, what, next week or the week after? It's August.
This month.
So they don't really have a big first-party presence this fall, and this is a way where they can bubble back up one of their killer games from early in the year.
Yeah, that's true.
And get it some major attention during that fourth quarter and have it be kind of almost a mini, you know, big first party game, even though it's just an expansion to an existing game.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think that they're deliberately going after Microsoft and trying to take a little bit of their thunder away. I mean, they'll probably have some Game of the Year edition, but this is, you know, digital DLC, so it's not like, you know, when you have to ship 8 million copies of a physical disc somewhere, like you pick your date, you know, and then you say, okay, the game has to be finished 6 weeks before that, and print the discs and get them in stores. But for this, like, they could have come out late October, they could have come out later in November, but they picked this date deliberately, I think, so that, you know, on sites like IGN and YouTubers and Twitch streamers, you know, you're going to see the Xbox and you're going to see Horizon side by side.
Yeah, that's true. It is coming out a little bit later than I expected.
Yeah, I think it's late.
It was late. That game came out in February, very late February, so it'll been like 10 months since its release. Yeah, 9 months. So I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting since they do have Lost Legacy coming out this month, but I do want to check it out. I actually recently jumped back into Horizon Zero Dawn after 5 months.
Wow.
Because I got sidetracked.
Did you know where any of your stuff was or anything?
Well, there's definitely like a learning curve to relearn the combat system because the combat system is pretty deep. You've got melee and ranged weapons, multiple bows, different types of ammunition, elemental effects. Then you have these bombs you can use and traps you can set, and then you have your rope launcher. And then the robot dinosaurs have different like weaknesses, and then parts you can shoot off. It's like a lot to.
I found by the end game the rope launcher was like a cheat code basically.
Rope launcher is pretty great.
It's really cool.
But the game is awesome, and I'm really actually glad that I'm getting back into it because it's definitely.
Did you get to do you know where you got like story spoiler free wise?
I'm a little bit lost in the story because I always do like side quests.
Have you been
first.
can you go to the whole map, I guess is what I'm asking?
I still have Fog of War over part of the map.
Okay.
I guess I haven't opened up the whole map, but I'm like
That's really
20 hours into
I think
it.
the final areas of the game are the best part. I like the desert and then the final area.
Yeah, so you can play that game. Like, I played that game a lot, and I put it back down and picked it back up, and I didn't even make it to the desert. Like, it's on my list of games like Damon. I want to go back to it, but I'm a little scared to try to pick it back up. Like, I think a lot of people, when they saw the screenshots or videos or watched any streams, you probably saw the early game areas, and there's way more variety in that map.
It gets
than
much
I was
more
expecting.
beautiful in the desert and then the final area too. Those are the best areas. Like that's the best part of the game. You have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah.
Total side note, random prediction. I could absolutely see Horizon Zero Dawn 2 being a launch title for PS5, whether that's like fall 2019 or fall 2020.
Yeah.
Like the timing pretty much works out. That would be a big heavy hitter they could lead with on the new box.
Good for
Cool.
Gorilla, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I always
they
thought
killed
Killzone
them for
was
so
just
long.
kind of so-so as well.
know,
I
it's-
never really
Well,
loved any
and
of them.
Kudos to Sony for giving them the creative freedom to
not
let them
pushing
pitch
Killzone.
something new and try something new and not just fold them up or say, okay, well that didn't work, so you're gonna make this now because we need this box checked in our portfolio. They said, hey, come bring us a new idea, and they did, and they were empowered to run with it, and they made a great game.
Yeah, it totally pulled me back in. I'm having a great time playing it. I do wish, However, and do you know what I'm going to say?
You could climb everything.
No, I was actually about this with Justin. I wish I could glide. Because there's so many, like, I get
The
up,
other Zelda thing.
I get high up and I'm at the top of a mountain and I'm like, well, now I have to walk down this mountain?
Everyone talks about the climbing in Zelda, the gliding.
Yeah, the gliding.
I
So
want to just
underrated.
be able to glide over this
It's the
beautiful
best
valley.
loot
like-
to climb up somewhere and be like, what's that? I'm going to go check it out now.
Yeah, that's actually what I really miss from Zelda. I wish I could add gliding into
You
it.
see some little glint in the distance. I'm just going
Let's
to
go check it
hop on
out.
over there and see, then climb back up somewhere else tall. Or just like sometimes there's like a Stalfos. He comes up out of the ground. I'm like, peace out, bro.
Later, dude.
Out of here.
That's what I've been playing. Why don't you guys share with the listeners what you guys have been playing? Ryan.
I just reviewed Batman: The Enemy Within.
That's right. Episode 1?
Episode 1, so it's season 2 of Telltale's Batman game, first episode. Super liked it. I liked the first season a lot because it's unapologetically M-rated, it's pretty brutal at times, and it just takes some very established characters from the franchise and just does completely crazy things with them that for the most part pretty much worked. And season 2 kind of picks up with those consequences having been played out and sets a lot of
People, is
new
it a
things in
spoiler what the villains are?
in season 2.
Yeah.
Well, so the first episode is about the Riddler. The Riddler, I can totally for sure tell you, no spoilers, that it's the Riddler comes back to Gotham, and all they tell you is, well, he's just been gone for a while. Everybody thought he was dead. He comes back, and he is the focal point. But he's actually the least interesting character in the episode. Not that he's bad, but it's all the peripheral characters that inform the like way more dramatic, tense decisions. And it's off to a great start. I really am curious to see, excited to see where this season goes.
I didn't get to the first season.
It's good.
I hear it's good. I've kind of felt like some Telltale fatigue a little bit, but
I totally
one of these
get
days.
that. But if you're a Batman fan like I am, I think season 1's totally worth it.
Cool. They also finally announced Wolf Among Us 2.
I know. I can't
That's
believe
a
it.
season of that,
so
like,
great.
that
Now
was
we
one
just
of my
need
favorite
Tales
series.
from the Borderlands too.
Yeah, it's true. Sam, I know what you've been playing. I don't know if you can share.
I can share that, but that's not what I was going to talk about. Yeah, I've been playing the Mega Man Legacy Collection.
2. The
Two.
second one.
Yep. And there's 4 games in it. 7 for SNES, 8 for PlayStation, which I love. I didn't think I'd love it, but I love it. It aged really well. It has really bad anime cutscenes that are hilarious. They're so fun.
The voice acting is perfect in that game.
Dr. Light just flubs lines.
And they left it
in. He just misses a word or says half a word. At one point, this robot boss just cuts off Mega Man and goes, "Shut up!" And Mega Man shuts up.
Yeah.
He's like, sure.
And Mega Man also has the voice of a little girl for some reason.
Yeah, he does. And then every time the dog comes out, Rush, there's a person doing dog sounds, and he goes, "Arr, arr, arr, arr." And he'll like fly, and they show this one animation with just like barely anything happening. We went, "Arr, arr, arr," and it's like too long.
It's so good.
It's wonderful. But then the actual game is like Marvel vs. Capcom era, like 32-bit, just like, oh my gosh, it's incredible.
Yeah, it's like sprite work, which I don't remember it looking that like pixelated, but it looks really cool.
You can hold down the button and fire constantly instead of that awful charge shot, very anti-charge shot.
And of course, Mega Man 9 and 10 are immaculate and great.
They're super good.
Really
They're not as
hard.
good as 2 or 3. So like that means like the whole collection is not as good as the first collection
Yeah.
plays. And then I've also been playing the 1977 hit Shark. You and I
Oh yeah,
played
we
that?
played some Shark at
Shark.
California Extreme.
Yep.
Have you guys even seen this cabinet?
I've never seen it before. So
It's called Shark. Very primitive. It's 77, you said?
yeah, it's like
Big cabinet. It's 4 players. It's black and white screen, and all there's a maze at the bottom, and then this open area at the top where this dot is floating around, and the dot is a person swimming.
77's really early.
yeah, or maybe 76. And then you're a shark mouth, and so 4 people are just.
But it's like
C.
it's basically it's either a C or a U or a backwards C or an upside down U, and that's
So you're competing to like get out of the maze, and if you hit a wall, you start over. So you're like carefully navigating a maze, and then you get up and eat the dot.
yeah,
which
it's
is
a race to get out of the maze and eat the swimmer, and then the person who like gets to 5 first wins. But your controls are just 4 buttons in 4 directions.
Wow.
And the buttons are like they're like smaller than an eraser on a pencil. The buttons have never been used anywhere else.
It's
I don't know
pretty
why
cool.
they chose this. Just these tiny little buttons.
Old
Like the
games
Nintendo
like that-
Switch D-pad.
Yeah, they said no concept.
Like,
Yeah,
obviously
just
that's-
like the Switch
Yeah.
D-pad.
It's clunky and primitive, but like playable, right? Like
It was
can
so
have fun
fun.
with it.
Yeah, we
but
had fun.
like why? Like,
There's
why
there's
those,
no
why those tiny buttons?
there's no music. I don't even know if it had any sound. at
We
all.
only missed out on is next to it. They had a shuffleboard machine that was 78. It was a Bally Midway game. It was black and white, and it worked so well. It was a bowling ball roller, and you go, whoo, and it's just like shuffleboard in a bar. You know, you just get up to it, and you can knock off the other one. And you go, dink. That worked really well. And then I've also been playing a lot of 1978's Atari Fire Truck.
Yeah, which we also played. That's a cooperative game.
Yeah. So
There's
one
two-
person drives in front and one person drives in back.
The fire truck is long, and there's two parts of it, and so the person in front is steering, and then the one in the back has to like keep the back end of the fire truck from like running into buildings.
It's
and
just
cars
black and
stuff.
white, top down. It's
great.
Simple as possible. It was really fun. And then you have a horn button, and the horn button does nothing except for make a loud horn sound.
And I don't know if it was that game, but one of the monitors we saw, actually, there was a real spider
That was
inside the monitor.
Yeah, it was like in someone's
Just
garage
hanging out
till this
behind
show.
the glass,
This
there's
is
just a
big
real
arcade
spider.
show. They brought it out. It was like, damn it, there's a spider, and it was just like hanging there like a mummified spider corpse in the screen. I played that game later with a friend of the show, Jared Petty, and I don't think he likes spiders. I don't know if he's afraid of them. I'm not going to say that, but he doesn't like them at all.
Oh, no, thank you.
And I showed him the spider, and he was not pleased. Anyway,
Yeah, that's at California Extreme, which is the yearly like arcade.
Yeah, 600 machines. It was really
expo.
fun.
I don't, it's the largest collection of arcade machines on the West Coast or something.
yeah, ever for that day, I'm sure. Right? We played Bad Dudes for a couple minutes. It was boring.
That is pretty good. I'm bad. Justin, what you been playing?
You skipped yourself. I guess you already.
Well, I was at Horizon.
I am still playing Eternal Card Game.
There you go.
I play it every night. It's actually kind of a problem in the sense that it's sucked up all the time.
My
for
daughters
like,
are crying.
I mean, all the game time, not all the time period. Like I have Tacoma that I've been waiting to get into, and I have Pyre that I absolutely adore, but haven't finished yet because Eternal, man, that game is really, really good. As I've said before, it's half Magic the Gathering, half Hearthstone, sort of the best parts of both. And I played a lot of it on PC, but now that it's on my iPad, that's like the perfect way to sort of lean back and play that game.
No, I like that game a lot. It's just tough for me. Card games I'm currently playing. Hearthstone, Eternal, Elder Scrolls, Legends, the Plants vs. Zombies Heroes, Shadowverse, Calculords. What else? Well, I guess that's enough for now. Yeah, so it's like hard,
You don't need it anymore.
it's hard to find time.
Did you guys try the VR game that I have hooked up by my desk that Dan was making a lot of people play last week?
Oh, was that Lone
Super
Echo?
Hot?
Yeah, Lone
Oh,
Echo.
Lone Echo.
Lost
Did
Echo?
you try
Lone
that?
Echo.
Not. Well, yes, I've played it. I played it at some event.
Oh,
previously.
cool. And you
It was
watched
good.
a tiny bit of like the tutorial scene, I think,
Yeah.
I was playing it. But like you are like freely floating in a spaceship.
Yeah.
And that works really well in VR because you have jets like Tony Stark style.
Yeah.
And then you can also basically you use the controllers and you
grab stuff for momentum.
Yeah, and you pull yourself around. And
I'm
it
so
feels
excited to play it.
Perfect.
Like
It's just right for VR.
I feel like almost every VR game is like, this is really cool, but there's always like an asterisk. And this is like one of the first VR games that no qualification or like excuses needed. Like it's just super dope and awesome.
Yeah.
Like I really want to dive into it.
And you're around this AI character, a woman who's like you're a robot and helping her, and you go through all this stuff. And it has another one of those things where it's like a big 3D display that you pull out of like the ship, and then you can like zoom in and like just like that interface is like so futuristic and cool. And Dan was like, if you stare at her too long, she gets mad at you. I'm like, all right, Dan, how did you even find this out?
Yeah, why are you staring at her? I have been playing one other thing a little bit over the weekend, which you guys will never guess.
Bad Dudes.
No.
Oh wait, is
Wait,
it?
he's been playing a lot of GBA
Yeah.
Game Boy.
I'll give you.
Drill Dozer.
I played that a little bit earlier.
Is
this
it
summer.
one of those weird Star Wars games only for GBA?
No, I've been playing Bionic Commando
Okay.
Elite Forces,
nice.
Yeah, I wouldn't
which is the Game Boy Color one, which is cool because they add a
love that game.
female Bionic Commando to the game.
A Bionic Commandress.
Yeah, Commandette. But then the new feature that really took me by surprise is that certain levels. Do you remember this game?
Yeah,
you
I
know this very well. Certain levels have a first-person sniper mode.
Whoa.
That it goes into, and it's just like a crosshairs on screen, and then you find the enemies, and then you shoot them, and this huge splatter of blood comes out. It's I wasn't expecting it at all. It's like really violent. And I meant to look up what the rating for that game was on the show because it's like You can kill people in the game in a first-person setting, and blood splatters everywhere. So I feel like it.
How is it not rated
Yeah.
M? Or maybe
Ever
it is.
since that first head explosion with Master D,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's all
been part of the game. It's part of the series. Get used to it.
Final Commando Elite Forces.
Does it tell any story additionally in it?
Yes, there's the same.
Does he marry a
Evil
different
wife
arm
arm?
in it?
Not the wife arm. It's the same evil organization from the first game is back, and Super Joe is behind enemy lines, and you have to go and rescue him.
What makes him so super?
Super
Yeah.
Joe.
Is he?
We'll never know.
All right, moving on. The developer of Splunky, Moss Mouth, which is Derek Yu created Splunky, and then he created this. His developer name is Moss Mouth. It announced a new game today called UFO 50. That is a collection of 50 single and multiplayer games.
I love it.
In an 8-bit style.
Andrew Goldfarb, tweet if you're okay.
No, I mean, he also made Aquaria. Like every game he's made has
Aquaria,
been
though.
excellent. It was indie Metroidvanias are all the rage.
You
but
swim in it?
He was like the first indie Metroidvania.
Wow, I gotta check it out.
That pre-Spelunky?
I'm gonna double check that was Derek Yu.
I mean, yeah,
But I'm sure it was.
Sure.
So this is 50.
58-bit
8-bit
style
games
games
he designed
that
to look like.
and he's brought on other developers to work with him too. The developer of what is it, Downwell, worked on some of these games, which I haven't played, but I hear really good things about Downwell.
Sure.
And so they explained a little bit more. Was it
Yeah, there was two of them, Derek Yu and Alec Haloka. I don't recognize
all
the
right?
name.
So they answered some questions about the games in this collection today. How big are their games? In general, the games are slightly smaller than commercial 8-bit titles from the 80s, but rest assured, they are full games, not micro games or mini games.
Yeah.
Completing the entire collection could easily take over 100 hours.
So is that real? Like
That's like retro
Derek
gaming
and Derek Yu, we trust, incredible game developer. Again, never made a not hit game, but I'm skeptical. Like, there's no way there's 50 games like the size
gotta
of
be, like-
Castlevania or Mario 1, right?
Yeah, but he's not saying that. He's saying they're slightly smaller.
Did you play Retro Game Challenge?
Yeah,
I remember that one, yeah. But
Like,
there's
I'm
only like
expect-
7 games.
I'm
on
expecting
that.
more.
Yeah, but they're pretty full.
Yeah. He says, are the games connected in any way? The story of UFO 50 is that the games were all created in the 80s by a fictional company that was obscure but ahead of its time.
cool.
That's great.
They're all connected by a unique 32-color palette and other restrictions we decided on to make them feel more authentic. What kind of multiplayer is available in the collection? All the games will feature a single-player mode, and roughly a third of the games will feature either cooperative or competitive multiplayer modes as well.
That's great.
That's what I thought it would be focused on. That seems really cool.
What
Maybe it has a version of Shark.
Maybe. What platforms is UFO 50 coming out on and when? We are planning to release the game on PC first in 2018 and then move on to other platforms. We're still deciding on the price, but we want it to be an easy purchase.
I'm so excited.
So there's going to be like 50 games of all different types of
20
8-bit
bucks
style.
probably.
Yeah.
This is like my favorite. I mean, I know he said they weren't micro games, but I love WarioWare, especially for the
Yeah.
retro feel of those micro games, and I love Retro Gaming Challenge for this exact reason.
Yeah.
And then
And
NES
there's,
Remix. Like, I love the idea of shuffling the 8-bit look and like making a more playable game out of it. So it's really
Yeah, it's cool. There's a trailer for this collection called UFO 50 out right now. If you take a look at it, there's a wide variety of games, everything from platformers, puzzle games, looks like some sports games, some turn-based strategy stuff. So it seems pretty cool. It's UFO 50 from the developer.
You
of
pronounce it
Splunky.
UFO or UFO?
UFO. Yeah, it's not UFO.
SNES or SNES?
SNES. Oh.
UFO.
It is August now.
Whoa. Are you
That
sure?
was fast.
We're in August now, so it's time.
Here we go.
Check in. We started this last month. We started this last month with July. We took a look back at the July '92 issue of Electronic Gaming Monthly.
So that's 25 years
Why
ago. this
92?
month?
Just because it's 25 or?
No, I forget the reason why. Oh, it was because I just happened to be looking through it. We have this old magazine library, and Zelda's out this year. And in the mail section of the July '92 issue, Link to the Past had just come out, and all these people were writing in about Link to the Past. And I was like, well, let's just.
You're supposed to say I was in the archives doing
Yeah.
my exhaustive research
Research, yeah,
prepping for the show.
For
every
20
week.
questions?
Yeah. In Game of Thrones, how do they get the chains?
The Maesters.
I actually
the-
know the answer to this.
The
You go ahead.
Meisters, yeah.
Well,
I
for
assume you know.
each thing they learn in their Maester school, they get a link. So they get a link for,
Like
winter
healing
or
or,
healing or
this and that. And so the more they know, the heavier their chain is, and the more they're weighed down by their knowledge.
I feel like we should have some chains for
Yeah.
all of our knowledge here.
scoop chains.
But now this is August '92, and the console war, the Great War, was raging at that time. If you guys remember.
Console War.
Hold on, we can't look at every single page. But
I love the ads.
I know. The
Oh,
ads
they
are
were
great.
the best.
But I want to read you the letter from the editor, from Ed Simrad. Does anyone
Yeah.
actually know? You're familiar with?
I
it?
don't. I
course,
know
yeah.
of him.
You know of him.
from the I don't know. Never met him.
The letter from the editor, the headline is "The System War Heats Up." It says, if you are one of the unfortunate group of players who bought either the Genesis or Super Nintendo game systems last year, you probably are not going to be too glad to hear that your $160 to $200 investment in a system has just been cut in half. Yes, the System War is going great guns, and neither Sega nor Nintendo will give the other company any chance to get a sales edge. Over the past 6 months, the system prices have changed so often that retailers no longer have any idea as to what price to put on their inventory.
Oh, that's a weird thing to have happen.
As soon as the prices are changed, they have to be changed again and always downward. However, it now looks like the prices have gone about as low as they can, as this last price cut necessitated major changes in the system configuration.
What?
Now with
So
only
they took
one
out a controller.
with only one controller and no pack-in cart, the systems have apparently reached rock bottom.
Only one packing cart.
But then they redesigned the Genesis.
We don't even get those
Well, I'll tell you,
anymore.
and that set the standard. I mean, that's from there forward. It was no pack-in game and one controller from there on out.
That's interesting.
Thanks, Sega.
I didn't realize it was the System Wars, so we really had to thank for that.
Yeah.
He says,
64 is like that.
while not great for the stores, the players who sat on the fence thinking about upgrading are enjoying every minute of the war. Yes, Chris. So like people talk about console wars, this is where it comes from. This Christmas shopping season, when about 60% of the toys are sold, should prove to be one of the best ever for the retailers. They will sell a lot of systems but not make a lot of money. Still, don't feel too sad for the poor store owners, as everything they will lose on the sale of the system they will make up, and then some, on the sales of the games. There are not too many
business.
people who believe that a cartridge is really worth $60 to $80. Comerica, for one, has proven with their Aladdin project that good games, albeit 8-bit carts, can be sold for less than $20. I don't remember Comerica.
Or their Aladdin project.
I know Comerica.
You know, really?
They made bootlegs for the NES.
Interesting.
What does he mention in context for?
It sounds like they're a retailer, proven with their Aladdin
okay, maybe I'm
project
thinking of something else.
that good games, albeit 8-bit carts, can be sold for less than $20. Well,
So maybe
it's
that's
their
like a
bootleg code.
Babbage's thing. Oh, man, what am I? I'll think of what.
We don't know. It continues. Unfortunately, there are losers to this new 16-bit war. With the Super Nintendo at $99, how many older 8-bit NES will Nintendo sell at $79? The handwriting was on the wall about the eventual demise of the NES, though, as most of the licensees have already switched over their R&D efforts to SNES game production. This is 1992. They're still talking about the NES.
Well, remember there was that system, that refresh, right?
That's
Like,
I guess
right
it
at the
would have
end.
been
Yep.
When there was
92 or
that crazy
93.
redesign on the
The
NES.
top loader.
He says, Sega has to be smiling, though. They have lowered their prices to the point where the NES users now can inexpensively upgrade to another system. Many of those will switch from Nintendo to Sega. Another nice point is that the price war is spreading over into the portable area. This time it is Sega versus Atari. Sega's Game Gear is coming down to $99, and Atari is rumored to be bringing the Lynx down to around the $80
Had a
price
Lynx.
point.
Oh.
I think it's a very cool system. It was just like wasn't very portable. It was batteries.
Yeah.
So he says, who is going to win this latest war? It is quite possible that nobody will ever really know. Sales figures are provided by the companies and aren't audited. Nintendo claimed to have sold over 2 million systems in 3 months last year. Few analysts believe that number and place the actual amount as about half that amount.
What?
Now they are saying they will sell 6 million more Super Nintendo systems this year. Sega stating they will double their user base. Who was right? We'll have to wait until after Christmas to see. Until then, the one thing that we can count on is that the real winner will be the game players. As for the first time in gaming history, the new systems are actually priced at a point where almost everybody can afford to upgrade.
It says that at the beginning he said there would be no winners and that it was terrible for gamers. And at the end it says the gamers will win. No, I mean the system wars were really serious business back then. Nintendo and Sony hated each other. Like people think, oh,
Yeah, we should read the book Console Wars.
like
Nintendo and
PlayStation.
Sega.
Like Jay Harris.
Like PlayStation and Xbox, like, oh, they're competitors and they hate each other. But like they don't. Like they don't. They just don't. The way that Sega and Nintendo
Yeah,
did. They
it
were
was definitely
absolutely
different.
out to murder each other.
Yeah.
Really funny ads in that issue.
In this month, Out of This World on Super Nintendo
so good.
got the Editor's Choice Gold Award.
Yeah.
The coveted Editor's Choice Award.
This month. Got an
Great game.
8998 from EGM. That game was awesome.
How did they get 4 people, 4 editors to play every single game all the way through
To
in order
completion.
give it a review?
Each editor's reviews, man, looking back, it's like they're practically tweets. If
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
fast forward,
they're really-
like,
they're
they're
really
barely,
true.
there's like 2 tweets.
I always love the gaming gossip section written by
Quarterman.
Quarterman.
Yeah.
In this issue, he says his rumor is Atari's Jaguar is now ready for full-out production with designs for nearly 24 softs now in the starting stages.
Games.
The machine will
using
take
that.
gamers into visual regions previously uncharted by home or arcade games. Can't wait to see this cat in action.
Hey, hold up that Adventure Island ad for the listeners.
This is the
There's just a naked
Oh,
guy
Adventure
hanging from a
Island.
bird.
That was. I remember the soundtrack to that game was phenomenal.
Is that for Adventure Island?
That's
too?
for Super Adventure
Super
Island
Adventure.
on the Super Nintendo.
Look how big that magazine
Master
is.
Higgins.
We're on to page 40 here. The first segment of the Game Doctor, and I don't know if you guys know who this is, but he writes a whole intro and where everyone's supposed to know who the Game Doctor is, and like finally the Game Doctor is coming to EGM. And you wrote in questions about gaming hardware and like problems, not like cheats about like
Like my NES flashes and doesn't play the game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Brad Gerard from South Carolina wrote in to say, I am a proud owner of an NES. I only have one major problem. I was playing a game and there were a lot of enemies on the screen. The action on the screen then started to slow down.
Oh,
Cool.
what's wrong with
Can you
my
tell me what
console?
caused this and why this happened? And the game doctor just gives an explanation. The more on-screen objects, the more memory is required to move them around. Most video game systems use what are called sprites as the
See,
character.
what you have to do is you just have to keep it a little bit cooler. So aim a fan at
Yeah.
your NES.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
you'll see less slowdown.
And then
Ice water is good for it.
in the preview section, there's a preview of Ninja Gaiden 4 for Genesis, and that game never
That
came
never
out.
happened, yeah.
There's no Ninja Gaiden 4.
Does it look good? It looks like an NES game.
It just looks like the 16-bit version of the NES games. But I don't know whatever happened to
You
that game.
screenshots, they would take a Polaroid photo and just cut it out and then just put it in
Oh,
the way.
yeah. That's what the screenshots are all really poor quality.
Yeah, they're very kind of bluish, like they were taking on the screen. Hudson Hawk and Hook in the same issue?
In a special advertising segment.
Oh, really?
And then on page 94 is a Super Star Wars preview. And I wanted to read some of the copy of this. It says, 15 years ago, yes, 15, we watched the adventures of Luke Skywalker, who, after receiving a distress call from a beautiful princess, was catapulted into an adventure of almost mythic proportions.
15 years ago.
After more than a decade, we are still enthralled with the Star Wars saga. That's 1992. LucasArts Super Star Wars mirrors the fascination that is still present whenever we see the movies. This is a game, underlined, that plays like a movie, underlined.
So that game was only 15 years after Star Wars,
Yeah.
and now we're 25 years away from that game.
Yeah. Super Star Wars makes abundant use of the SNES's Mode 7 capabilities with plenty of scaling and rotation, the effects of which will definitely make you dizzy. That doesn't
I
sound
think
good.
there's a picture of a Star Wars Death Star trench run in this that game did not look like.
Yeah, no.
the
It's like
gameplay,
polygonal and everything.
the gameplay is flawless.
Wow. What an accomplishment.
We don't do previews like this anymore.
This is a
That's
preview.
sick. Can I
Not-
start using that?
No.
Gameplay.
Luke encounters many strange creatures in his quest to rid the galaxy of the evil empire. In addition, there are bosses at the end of each level that are guaranteed to reduce your life expectancy. Look for Super Star Wars by LucasArts Games. Fight hard and may the force be with you. This is their preview.
Yeah, also the
Did
cart
LucasArts
was 8 megs.
write that?
I mean, it sounds like
Eight
the
megs.
back of the box.
Yeah, LucasArts
Wait,
VR.
what's in the fact file?
At the time of this writing, the game was 50% complete.
Sure.
I
The
totally,
card size is 8 megs, and the number of levels not available.
yeah. I'd totally forgotten that previews used to say, like, this game's 85% complete, or this game's only 20% complete.
Japanese magazines still do it. Famitsu still does this in their previews.
So bizarre.
It's great. All right, stay tuned for September when we will once again check in with what was going on in
System
EGM
wars continue.
back then. Let's check in with the listeners.
Hey, listeners.
Listeners, remember you can always reach us at the email address gamescoop@ign.com, just like David from Austin, Texas did. He says, the first time I ever listened to Panic at the Disco
Okay.
was also the first time that I played my favorite game ever, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Now, whenever I listen to Panic's first album, I can't help but think of Knights of the Old Republic. The reaction is strong to the point that when I hear certain songs from that album, I will see specific planets from the game in my head. I also have the same reaction with the first Darksiders game and Ed Sheeran. So my question is, do you guys have any albums, songs, or musical artists that remind you of certain games? And he's not talking about the game's soundtrack, just like stuff you were listening to while you played the games.
So many.
I have the same thing that happened to me. So I used to run around in Quake 1 with, instead of...
One, wow.
Yeah, with, what was it? What album was that? Oh, it was the Metallica Load, the Load album.
Yeah.
That was like the same time, and just would run around just
Goes together.
bragging the
Yeah.
whatever they were called in Quake 1. I don't even know if they had it was a race of aliens or monsters. Yeah, to Metallica.
Metallica's Load.
I remember the Sonic the Hedgehog era being, the exact era that Pearl Jam and Nirvana and
Yeah.
Smashing Pumpkins and everything came on the radio. So
90,
I don't listen to
92,
that stuff, but I did in high school, and middle school is when I really remember it from. And I remember Sonic the Hedgehog and those bands.
Yeah.
That's just
Well,
completely one of
for
them.
me, it's Sega Genesis, high school, and grunge albums. I definitely went through like an angsty phase where I'd sit in my room with the lights off and I'd play
Totally.
Shining Force and Shining Force 2 and listen to stuff. I really remember Holes, Live Through This.
Yep.
I remember listening to that album a lot. And then
Yeah.
on the other side, I remember listening to Tom Petty's Wildflowers album a lot
Yeah.
while I played through those Genesis games.
I got that. Remember when you could get 10 CDs for 10 cents?
Oh, yeah,
Each?
yeah.
And I just
For
did that
the-
over and over again.
You say, sure, I'll cancel before they charge me the $20 to
BMG
see it.
maybe?
Yeah, BMG. I think there's a couple different
There's a couple of
ones.
them, and you could use them all. Like,
I'm going to game the system.
that's how I would get those CDs. And I remember at the time I had a Sega CD player. That was my
Yeah.
first CD player.
too.
Yeah.
I listened to music on my Sega CD. So like that's
Yeah, I
indelibly.
listened to Green Day Dookie in my Sega CD.
Dookie was right there for sure.
What was cool is in the era before
Offspring.
in those early CD-ROM gaming days, that was copy protection.
Yeah.
So you could actually take a game disc
Yeah.
and put it in a music CD player. Track 1 was the game, the data track. If you
Yeah.
tried to play it in an audio CD player, it would it would play, but you'd hear nothing. And then tracks 2 onward were the track to the soundtrack. And I still keep a handful. I have some old school PC games that I still enjoy the soundtracks to. There's this post-apocalyptic taxi combat game called Road Warrior, Quarantine, which had a sequel, Road Warrior, later.
What a deep
But Quarantine, that has a great soundtrack, and then the aforementioned Quake 1 was the Trent Reznor
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
No way.
He did the
I didn't know
soundtrack
that.
for that
Wow,
game. So
that's
and
crazy.
tracks 2 onward, I actually brought it in for Eric Sapp, who's a huge Nine Inch Nails fan, one of our graphic designers here, and just said, here, just copy. You could go ahead and rip tracks 2 through whatever, because I don't think there's any way to legally give Trent Reznor money to to get that. So
is it video
just-
game music
just
or is
PayPal
it
him.
like music?
no, it's music.
Sort of
mean,
atmospheric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really funny that they had him do that.
Just go after
didn't
the
know
show.
that. I mean,
look up the Quake soundtrack on YouTube, and you'll see what I'm talking
It's
about.
interesting because now he's like a very successful
Oscar
film
winner.
Oscar-winning film soundtrack composer. So.
I never realized I was such a weirdo for always just listening to the game music. Like,
no, I
mean, I know
appreciate
lots of
that
people that
too.
do, but it never even crossed my mind growing up to be like, well, I'll just
Yeah.
listen to the game music. I didn't even think about turning the TV volume down and playing something else.
That's
inside.
me today. I almost always will listen to the game music today.
For sure.
Game music's gotten really good
Yes.
for the most part. And that brings us to Video Game 20 Questions. Our suggestion this week comes from Colby Snyder. Let the questioning begin.
Where's Colby from?
He does not say.
Oh, see, because if he was from the Midwest, that would inform.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I know the game.
Do you? Does your character speak?
I don't think so.
Do you mean just on-screen text speak, or like words come out of your television?
I hadn't thought about it that far.
Like, because it is.
Yeah,
If you,
Yeah, I
you,
mean,
you can clarify. You can clarify.
I don't have. I think they're both. I think either one. Either. Of
I don't think either one happens.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Is this a pre-1990 game?
No.
Pre-2000.
No.
All All right, so we're past 2000 then.
New-ish game. I mean, not newish.
Where
It's
character
17
doesn't
years,
talk.
but- I mean, I think, okay, pre-2010?
Yes.
Okay, got our decade.
Console exclusive? Is it a console exclusive?
Yes.
It's not a Mac game.
Okay, so we're looking at
I wasn't here for that, but I
we're
heard
looking
about it.
at Xbox, PlayStation 2, GameCube is pretty much.
Well, we can confirm that.
Well, I'm just we don't necessarily have to go there quite yet. But that's where I'm turning this way again. I'm making the same mistake. So
Yeah. Is this a
gotta say-
GameCube generation game?
That's original Xbox, PS2.
I don't think. I don't think so.
Is this a handheld game?
Yes.
okay.
Do that.
Okay, so what? It's
So
almost certainly
Game Boy Advance.
Or DS?
or DS.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
Engage.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, is this a GBA game?
No.
A DS game?
Yes.
I was so worried that it was gonna be.
Is this game about self-betterment?
No.
I like where you were going though.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Cooking Mama, Brain Age.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Is this game made by Nintendo?
Yes.
That's a big help.
That's 10.
All right,
party
so
Ninte-
first party
Ninte-
DS.
Nintendogs.
Yep. Or
Could be.
WarioWare. Nintendogs is a good one. But is that about self-betterment?
No.
through training a pet.
Yeah.
I wonder how my Nintendogs doing now. If I were to turn on that game, would my dogs just be happy to see me?
It's a corpse.
Yeah. They,
It's bones.
my Animal Crossing villagers are furious.
It's just like a grown-up dog and you're not interested anymore.
I'm like, I don't care about you.
Are there dogs in it?
No.
Could still be Nintendogs, right? Because there's puppies in it. Are puppies dogs?
It could be Animal Crossing. Because because there was some hesitation over whether your character speaks, and I don't know off the top. I don't think you speak. You're mute in Animal Crossing, right?
Are there sequels?
No.
So WarioWare and Animal Crossing are out.
WarioWare got sequels, lots of sequels.
Yeah, there's no.
Oh, they're out. They're out.
Yeah.
What didn't get sequels? First party DS game that didn't get sequels.
Advance Wars. Was there a sequel to Advance
Yeah, there
Wars?
was.
There was. Okay.
Well, but it depends on how Damon. That was the final one. The DS one.
What about Yoshi Touch and Go?
She's Touch and Go is really good. I
Or,
really like that game.
Mario 64. DS. I mean, those don't technically have sequels. Does this take place in the Mario universe?
talks though.
Good question.
Does it take place in the Mario universe?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right then.
Could be one of those two.
Well, so I don't know, like that's a good question because it knocks out Advance Wars and all
So-
that weird stuff. But like now, does that include Mario Sports?
Well, that's what I was just thinking. Like, was there a Mario golf game, Mario tennis game for DS?
There was golf, but there was a sequel on the 3DS. There may not have been golf.
Is this Star Yoshi?
No.
Mario Universe game.
Is this a remake?
No. That's 15.
Yeah, slow up, slow your roll.
No, but we need. Those are the games that we are asking about.
There was Princess Peach, Super Princess Peach on the DS.
Yep, that's a great one.
Not very good.
Mario Universe.
You know how? So it's like, hey, finally, Peach is on her own adventure,
Yeah.
and then the game is
Yeah, emotion based.
her for emotion powers. Like when she's crying, this happens, and when she's angry, this happens.
Sexist.
It's not great.
Yeah, it's probably that, or there's also Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga
got-
games, but those got sequels.
Those got
So
sequels.
is there anything else?
I think
in
there's a really good chance it's Super Princess Peach.
Good.
Is this a platformer?
Yes.
You play as Princess Peach?
Yes. Super Princess Peach. I don't know if she speaks though in the game. I don't think she does.
I mean, no.
cries a lot.
She
Yeah.
may speak in the way that like Mario speaks a little.
Just
bit.
like,
Where Princess
wahoo, ooh.
Peach.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff like that. Yeah. I didn't think there's real. Yeah, that was 2006 when that game came to DS, and I didn't play that one, even though it got pretty good reviews, like 7s. It's just
a
it's
3 out of 5.
Is
It's
that
supposed
post
to be-
Xbox 360?
yeah, 360
06?
2005.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but this game's supposed to be really easy.
Yeah, I remember. For some reason, I have a vivid memory of that game. I was running a handheld games website at the time, and so I ran the site, reviewed the game, and it was totally like first party Nintendo platformer, and like it's just bland. It's just
Yeah.
boring.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not very interesting, and
It's like Pikmin.
and pretty sexist.
Well,
Hey,
Pikmin.
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 Sorry. Yes.
And then one detail that I thought might be challenging is that the developer was Tose, Tose, but they're like a ghost developer that they never even put their name on their stuff.
Yeah,
And
that is weird.
And Nintendo has hired them to work on many, many games over the years. And Shigeru Miyamoto's, he's still like the producer on the game, but they hire this like ghost developer to sort of like
Farm out the heavy lifting of the
they
development.
basically do.
Yeah.
And then Nintendo publishes it.
That was a good game to do.
So many
Brings
good
back good
DS
memories.
franchises that are just orphaned on the DS.
I would love to have like a really cool Super Princess Peach game. Like that would be great.
Yeah.
The Switch
Or a
Switch,
sequel to
Switch is
Rugrats.
touchscreen, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just guess I haven't. I don't know why I play my Switch every day, but I don't ever use.
It's
the
not
touch
stylus
features.
based anymore. It's nice, like just
Yeah, but it
normal
makes me
touch.
wonder if we could see like Elite Beat Agents or some of that stuff that kind of was gone for a while come back.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for the suggestion, Colby Snyder. That was good. You guys got there. Well played, everybody.
It took place in the Mario universe.
Yeah.
And that is all the scoops we have for you this week. Remember, you can always reach us at the email address, gamescoop@ign.com. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Ryan. My name is Damon. This is IGN Gamescoop, and we're out.
Howdy, friends. Welcome to Unlocked. It is the world's #1 Xbox show. It's episode 308 for August 6th or 7th, depending. We're recording pretty early this week because thanks to our Disney XD show, starring Alana Pierce and friends, the studio schedule, it's all, you don't care. It doesn't matter. But the point is we're here. We're a little early this week. So we'll have, we're gonna have a little fun this week. We are going to take your questions, kind of an AMA style thing. I solicited a bunch of inquiries from our Podcast Unlocked Facebook group, which can be found where, Marty Sleva?
Facebook.com/groups/podcast unlocked.
That's channeling the spirit of Mitch Dyer. I
Did
like
it.
that.
Aw.
You did it successfully. So we'll take a bunch of just talk random Xbox topics straight from what you guys wanted to know. Also, actually happening in the last 3 days since we recorded, Spotify on its way to Xbox One. Titanfall not done yet. We got some quotes from Vince Zampella about that. And a really, really good PSVR game making its way to the Xbox One next week as well. We'll talk all about that. So I'm Ryan McCaffrey. To my right, Destin Legary.
Hey, everybody.
To my left, the aforementioned Alana Pierce and Marty Sleva.
I was very confused by this PSVR game, and then I looked and I was like, yes, that is a very good game.
It's also playable on a regular
yes.
television, so that's why I threw that curveball at you.
Excellent.
Marty.
That is a good
Yeah.
game.
See, everybody's happy.
You guys can't wait to find out what it is now, I bet.
Stay tuned for in another X number of minutes from now. Anyway, so yeah, it's we are recording a wee bit early. It's Monday. It's Monday morning.
It is a weird time to record. People don't really drop news over the weekend.
No.
So here we are.
Here we are.
Pretty much most of the
Hey.
shows are recording today, so.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the Destiny 2 Pop-Tart deal.
That is a thing that happened.
Yeah.
Well,
real
so
thing.
what does that mean?
Yeah.
If you get Pop-Tarts, you get Destiny?
You get XP boosts.
Yeah.
It's super weird.
How come XP boosts are always on food that kills you?
trash food.
Yeah, where's that Mountain Dew at? No, it's just such a weird thing.
They're
like,
partnered with
marketing.
Rockstar.
So
Wait.
yeah, an energy drink and a Pop Tart. That's
Yeah.
that's the breakfast of Destiny champions right there.
Video games.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Healthy.
They should have like double XP weekends for walking simulators on like kale.
I guess Odd Wall is not really into
Yeah.
sponsoring
There's-
Destiny.
There's this kind of
Quinoa.
Kombucha.
There's this kind of onesie brand, I believe it is, that sent out a bunch of onesies to gamers in Australia. I think with the idea that like, you're a lazy slob who sits around on the couch. Here's this thing, and so Mark Serrels, who was I think the editor of Kotaku Australia at the time, wore the onesie for a full 24 hours, kind of out of spite, and documented the whole thing. It's a very good article. He's like, I was dripping
So-
in sweat, picking up my kid. I look like an idiot. All the other parents are judging me. It's just like,
So the marketing totally worked on him then because he made content out of
he
it.
did
Yeah.
put it everywhere,
Yeah.
but it was out of anger, I think.
Hey,
But you know what? Hey, marketing is marketing.
no publicity is
True.
bad publicity.
It's true.
All right. Well, let's just get started. I picked out, I think it was about 10 questions from the Unlocked Facebook group this morning, so I appreciate you guys coming through on that. I want to start with Simon Morris. We'll just go like quick round robin on this kind of stuff. So Simon Morris asks, what's your opinion on HDR, and is it worth it? Because, Marty, you've talked about a number of times that Sony has a press conference, and you can't, like, they're like, hey, HDR is great. Check it out.
Yeah.
You can't see it
Yeah.
through video, through the internet. You have to have it in front of you. How do we feel about HDR?
I'm indifferent. I don't know. I don't really feel strongly one way or the other about it. If you are willing to drop the cash to make sure you get a television that supports HDR, and you're really into video settings and stuff like that, then get it. If you're not, then all right, like that's fine. You can still experience games for their gameplay and the experience of the game, and that's what's most important in my opinion.
Alana?
First time that I saw HDR right next to non-HDR was actually with Gears 4 when I went and visited them, and it was split. The screen was split in the middle,
Yeah.
and one side was HDR and one side was off. And I was like, oh boy, that's what things normally look like. Like the side on the left, it's so washed out and
Yeah.
white, and it's just like seeing HDR on is like, oh, this looks really, really good.
Yeah.
I feel like it is worth a slightly more expensive TV. It's not even that much. That said, I don't have it, and because you're not seeing HDR, it's only if you see it at some point and then go to not seeing it that it's really bad. I think it's worth it, but I can tolerate not having it.
Yeah.
Right.
I completely agree with that. I saw it side by side with Forza Horizon 3, and that was I was like, holy crap, this
Yeah.
looks incredible. But
Impressive, right?
yeah, it's
crazy.
super impressive. But it's also one of those things, like you said, it's the same way when like I stream a movie on Netflix or I watch a movie on DVD, and for a second I'm like, oh, this isn't Blu-ray, and then 5 minutes in I stop caring. Or stop noticing.
Yeah,
or stop
and-
thinking
Yeah.
about it.
And the good news is it's really not much of a decision to make because pretty much anybody that's there, 'cause we get asked a lot, okay, which 4K TV should we get? And we'll get into that as the Xbox One X's release date gets closer. But you don't really even have to decide because most 4K TVs do have the HDR support built in. You just have to make sure you're getting HDR 10, which fortunately seems to be the standard that's becoming more normal standard. There's also Dolby Vision, which is obviously Dolby's proprietary thing. Some TVs support both. There are some that just support Vision and not HDR 10, but just keep an eye and make sure you're getting HDR 10.
Note on those TVs: don't buy from Joe's. Turns out it's not. Turns out it's a super sketch site. And
Wait, really? The site that we made fun of the other week?
Yeah. I waited a month for my TV, and I'm like, "Hey, are they shipping?" And the guy's like, "Why did you get this one? Why did you get the one made in Mexico?" I'm like, "Cancel my order." And I still got the same TV, but from somewhere else.
Wow.
But don't buy from that website. Also, tons of Better Business Bureau complaints about their shipping, and don't buy
Yikes.
from Joe's.
Thanks, Joe. All right.
He was like, "What are you, dumb? Why'd you get this TV?"
Was it
I'm
Joe
like,
himself?
might
Might
have
as
been.
well have been.
I don't know.
Yeah, one dude shipping all those TVs
Yeah.
is, he's got to take a while.
He was like making fun of me for my purchasing decisions. I'm
Good
like,
customer service.
Classic Joe.
yeah, go ahead and cancel my order.
Really weird.
Joe's a big fan of negging.
Also, keep a real close eye on your credit card statement for the next little while.
Luckily, those are pretty buckled down.
Yeah.
All right. This is a person whose name I'm probably going to destroy. I'm going to do my best. You know what? I just don't want to ruin it.
Mr. or
wait,
Mrs.
see,
McDonald.
Let's go. Yeah, thank you.
Bathenga.
That's better. Are loot boxes in a single player game necessary? We're seeing a lot more of these now.
No.
Shadow of War.
I was about to
has-
say, this stemmed from a lot of people over the weekend. Shadow of War has single-player microtransactions and loot boxes that a
Some
lot
of them give you XP.
They're totally reasonable.
Yeah, a lot of folks in the office are very upset about that.
Sarcasm, everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is a precedence that we're going to see more and more going forward. I personally have zero interest in ever purchasing a thing like this. That said, whether I want to like condemn it to hell or not depends on when I play the game. If I feel like, man, my progress is really being curbed unless I pay money, that's when I get pissed.
It's also how aggressive it is. Like, Skylanders Imaginators had loot boxes for gear, and it would prompt you to buy it all the time.
Yeah.
And I got annoyed. And there was one point where I just pressed A enough times through something, and I ended up in the store. I was like,
And that
oh,
to me is super gross because that's a game clearly aimed at kids.
That's
So, like,
exactly why they did
disgusting.
it.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing. If you guys don't like this, you need to stop buying them in Overwatch and buying them in Destiny and all these games that are doing it because they're looking at the business model of these other companies and saying, wow, that's hugely lucrative from them. Look at their earnings call. Look how much money they made from those microtransactions. We need a version of that.
I don't
Yeah, but-
necessarily agree with that because it's
People
different
are
in
buying it.
multiplayer.
People are buying it.
But in a game like Overwatch or
They're trying
or
to show off the
PUBG,
way that
it's
I'm not
aesthetics.
arguing-
It's
I'm not-
aesthetic based. It's
Yes.
not changing the
Gameplay.
actual flow of the game, which these are.
Well, I'm not arguing whether or not it's right. I'm saying why it's happening. It's happening because companies
because
are
they make
looking at
money.
the business
Yeah.
model. It's making them a ton of money because everybody's buying them. Shadow War, it sounds really gross.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give them a pass.
I mean, there's two sides to this. One is that it's optional, right? And I always think of that if it's there and I don't have to do it and it doesn't hinder my progress, I'm kind of okay with it. But the second side of that is that marketing is always there to make you buy stuff. So no matter what, the game is going to be designed around the idea that it wants you to buy microtransactions, and that's pretty gross. It's not what I want out of Shadow War, nor do I think it needs it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm glad they're getting the backlash because hopefully they change their thought process on what they're doing with the product right now. Because this is gross. Don't do that.
Yeah, I would be willing to guess that there are more than a fair share of developers who are putting this stuff in aren't on board with it. That it's a thing that comes down from
Yeah.
on high that says, hey, we need to monetize the game.
Yeah.
This spreadsheet says this is the way to do it, so you're doing it. But I kind of look at these as, and not that I'm just going to roll over and let it happen. Voicing your concern is important, but I feel like these are kind of not necessary, but they're an evil we're stuck with for a while because
Companies need to make.
I want good single player games because we're seeing. I don't know if we're literally seeing fewer of those, but it feels like we're seeing fewer and fewer single player focused.
It feels like that
games.
because it's that once every 6 months we're so glad that Wolfenstein is just focusing
Yes.
on the single player, as opposed to it
Yeah.
being a given.
Yeah, you're totally right. So I want more good single player driven, narrative driven games, and if this is how those can get made in the current marketplace, in the current economic reality of the games industry, I guess it's either that or not having the games at all. So I don't know. But you're totally right, Alana. It's just there is a line, and it's a tough line to
I don't know.
walk.
Is
for
this
anybody.
the film industry equivalent of product placement everywhere in a movie? Of like, man, I'm really glad a thing like Get Out was able to get made, even though it was clearly funded a lot by Microsoft because everyone was using like Surfaces and
I mean,
like
games
a
have
Windows Phone.
product placement as well.
Yeah, but a thing like Shadow of War can't.
You could put Duracell batteries in there.
I almost feel like it's maybe the better analogy would be movies in 3D. Like this is our 3D
Sure.
phase where everybody's like, yeah, you got to pay the extra $4 to go see it in
Yeah.
3D because it's cooler that way.
But it's
And-
not even cooler. That's the problem.
Well,
We know that now.
Yeah, exactly.
Microtransactions and 3D aren't
in both
cooler.
cases. But I think we'll get to the point where we'll evolve past this. This is just sort of the moment in time we're in
Sure.
right now.
I hope so.
Well, companies have identified that this makes them a ton of income. Like this is a good way to get more money out of consumers because
They wouldn't do it if they couldn't.
I
like,
mean,
the
the
Overwatch
TIs
costumes
next week,
are
right?
awesome.
Like, oh, this week. International is this week. And it's like that is largely funded by people who are spending money on minor things like microtransactions. And like, that's what
Weirdos
that is.
like Mitch.
If you want
It's
to
like
go
Mitch and
away,
Miranda.
you got to stop buying them. Unfortunately.
I don't know. I totally see the appeal of having them in multiplayer games. And do you guys know the game Habbo Hotel by any chance?
Yeah.
It was a PC browser-based game, and you existed in a world with tons and tons of people, and you had like your own kind of room. And I played it when I was really, really young. I would have been maybe 10 years old, and they had a number where you could just call up, and it would automatically charge your home phone to let you buy things that you could use to like get furniture inside of your house.
Yeah.
And being super young, I didn't even think about what that meant. I did not think about that at all. I was like, I call this number, I buy a new couch. This is great. And so I spent like $50, and my parents were like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Oh, that's weird. It's from this website." And they were mad at the website for tricking me into effectively buying
that's
things.
what
Predatory.
all mobile games
But it's been
are
around
now.
for a long time.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like I had no idea what I was doing, and I just did it.
Yeah.
Had a sweet pad though.
I don't like it. Like I wish, as long as there's a way to earn it without spending money, then I'm a little more okay with it. Like I think Overwatch
there
does
was-
that. PUBG does that.
There was another.
Yeah.
There was a game I played last week that I guess I can't say what it is because the embargo's not up yet, even though that's super dumb. But I was playing it going, oh, so loot boxes are in this kind of game now too. Okay, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess whatever. And it's just kind of I don't know. It's just I have no. I think I'm just too old. Like I just don't. I see through the the ruse that is the loot
Also,
box.
I don't
Yeah.
spend enough
I'm just
time
like,
in
forget
any
it.
single game to be like, all right, this is it. This is where I'm going to set up camp,
But
and
I
I'm going to
think
build a house. and
That
I'm
is
going
largely
to...
specific to the nature of our jobs.
That's true.
Sure.
Like I think, like maybe less so. Destin, you seem to play a lot
I
of
play
similar
like
games.
I try and play 2 to 3 games. Like I play PUBG, I play Destiny.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Right.
play
Where I
Destiny
would think
too.
the three of us would play a lot of games
Sure.
quickly to get through them
We're,
so that
we're
you can
jack
talk about
of all
them,
trades,
right?
master of none. That's
Yeah,
what
and I would think that because of that, we have a really different experience.
Yeah. No, and I'm not saying that my way of doing things is better or worse than anyone's. It's just
Yeah.
my personal.
Yeah,
I think I'm just getting older and I have less time. So I'm like, well, I can play these 2 games out.
that's
try
why
and
I
play
don't
everything.
do it.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
do
I'm
it
like, I have
literally
less
that-
time.
yeah.
I need to play less of.
That's why when I go like hop into a game and it's like this is 6 hours, I'm like perfect. I will burn through it.
when-
in 2 settings. It's
Whenever you
gonna-
tell me that something's 6 hours,
Yeah.
it's a game that you played recently, and you're like, yeah, it's like 5-6 hours. Like, score!
I'm the same
Yeah.
exact way. If you tell me it's 60 hours long, I'm like, I don't
That's
think I'm
what
going
I've
to get to
put.
that game.
36 hours.
Not going to happen. All right, let's go to a question from Harley Snowden asking, if you guys could be a voice actor in any game, what would it be and why? So,
Just
Alana Fable?
Just a Fable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
clearly.
Any Fable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to be like one of the crappy townspeople who just like says really mean stuff to you when you walk past, like tell you that you smell bad. I want to be that person.
Your brand.
Yeah.
I would probably be in an upcoming game, Psychonauts 2. Just the first game is one of my
Oh,
favorite
yeah, that's-
written games of all time, and I just love that world so much. So I'd be like the kid who. No, that's not. That's the other game. You don't chase chickens. in Psychonauts. You don't stand there in Psychonauts like a lemon.
Smash him up.
You do smash things.
That one I was
does
like,
that.
hang on, can I reach for
Are
that?
you
Okay,
like
yes.
a foreign exchange student?
Yeah.
What do you
kind
say,
of.
Destin?
Probably some new IP because, like, if I read the script and it turned out to be really interesting, then maybe it would take off and that could start a whole thing. And it'd be neat to be like there at the beginning because
Like you're the
I like
shepherd.
yeah, I like new stories, so it'd be kind of cool to be part of a new story being told.
I would also really like Gears of War. That would be great.
We just have to kidnap Laura Bailey and hide her somewhere so they can't
I
find her.
feel
and
like
then
I
they-
could mimic Laura Bailey's voice pretty well. I'd have to listen to it, but I feel like I could do that.
Well, I mean, I bet.
And you do it with a British accent.
Laura Bailey with a British accent. At some point, it's just not Laura Bailey. Or Overwatch. That would be cool too.
That'd be good. Yeah, I would. If we're really not gonna have Michael Ironside back, I think I'd want to be the
Sam?
Sam Fisher.
That'd be cool.
That'd be good.
What's your best Sam Fisher?
Well, I'd have to probably give my. I wouldn't want to
Master
do a.
Chief.
I wouldn't want to try and do a Michael Ironside impression.
No, but
'cause that
you
just-
like you. He's got to be like a certain amount of rugged. I
Yeah,
want to say.
give me a line.
What if you're the guy talking to Sam?
Oh, Lambert.
Yeah.
Lambert could be good too. I'm not old enough to play Lambert though. I don't think my voice doesn't have enough
I think you got the gravitas.
age.
I'm always amazed by like they had the God, I can't remember his name, but the kid who is voicing the Joker in Telltale's Batman season
Yes.
2. They had him on Up at Noon the other week, and he was this like he just made YouTube videos. I think he's Swedish or he's European, and he just uploaded a bunch of YouTube videos of him doing impressions, and Telltale saw that
That's so
and
cool.
brought him in, and it was a thing where like he nailed every sort of variation of the Joker,
Yeah.
and they were like, do your own. So I like the idea of like instead of being like I'm going to do the Heath Ledger, Jack Nicholson, or you know Batman the animated series or Mark Hamill, doing your own thing.
Yeah. Actually, that would be my other choice.
That is cool.
To play Batman in a game.
Batman, yeah.
Like, that would be.
I wish
That
I
would
could
be
say
Kevin
that.
Conroy's just so good.
What?
Yeah, you could be Duke Nukem.
Well, that job's already taken. John St. John already. I don't think he's giving up that job anytime soon.
They're like, John St. John has a throat thing. Ryan, we need you.
Yeah.
I-
Well, it's the prequel. You
Yeah, we have
can't do
to
college
Duke
dude.
Begins. Yeah.
I
it's
made
Duke
a
Begins.
video of me attempting all of the female characters' voices in Overwatch for my YouTube channel a little while ago.
You can do all the meals.
I might. I'm
Yeah.
gonna try. I'm very bad at doing male voices, but the next one that I want to try, speaking of male voices, is American presidents. I'm gonna
Because
try
of
and
the
do.
Obama
I'm gonna try and do all of the like most iconic American presidents' voices. It's gonna be terrible.
It's Duke Begins. I'm rushing for my frat. Let's make it happen. All right. Sean Billingsley writes and asks, what's going on with Halo? I feel that 343 has been very quiet since we got Halo 5. I understand and commend them for the multiplayer support, but seriously, what's going on?
They're making a game.
Yeah, they're working on Halo
Yeah,
6.
it's 3-year cycle. I mean, we should see Halo 6 announced at E3 and then out in November, most likely. Yeah, and it'll be a big deal for them next year.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't get a tease this year. Maybe we'll get a tease at Gamescom.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But
that
I
be
would really
possible.
be surprised if the first inkling we heard of it was E3 and then it came out 4 months later.
You would be surprised if that
I'd be
happens.
surprised. Yeah, yeah. I just given Halo 5 had that, even though it was a fake tease because we never did Desert
right.
Jesus
The good old potato
poncho.
sack.
Yeah.
Counterpoint, they still are trying to get as many people to play and keep playing Halo 5 as possible. You know, they've done, it's in Game Pass, it's all the maps are free. They've done all this great stuff support-wise. You might as well just wait and announce Halo 6 because you're still going to get maximum impact when you do.
Yeah.
So, money's on E3 2018 for that one. Scott Mackey says, okay, Phil Spencer will put money in any game idea to fund your dream game. Money is no issue. What is that game? Marty, go.
Jesus. Whoa, jeez.
Go.
Just a banjo. New banjo.
That could happen. They own that.
Yeah, just new banjo. Yeah.
Rare making it, or you got somebody else in mind?
No, Rare can make it.
You
Bring in
wouldn't
some
want
of the.
Platonic to make it?
Bring in. Have Rare and Platonic do a little joint operation. Yeah.
My answer to this is always Batman Arkham, but with the entire Justice League. But I feel like I can do better.
The
But
rumor out there
Wait,
from the
no, I changed mine. I want Rocksteady to make a Harry Potter game, and I want the Nemesis system inside of Hogwarts.
that would be cool.
Where it's like
I
a
like that.
Mean Girls-esque cast system.
That would be really
Yeah.
cool.
I like that.
Mine's Superman.
bullet.
I want to make a great Superman
real
game.
Superman
So your
game. I
Justice
like
League
that.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Phil, just buy Rocksteady.
Yes, excellent.
Yeah.
I don't even know. That's a really good. I had one earlier and like an idiot didn't write it down. Yeah, and
Was it a Superman game?
No, it wasn't a Superman game.
I'd also take like new iterations
Oh, I
of
remember what
Deadly
it was.
Premonition. Just
Yeah?
every year.
Every year.
Yeah,
Isn't
just like a different
once
version.
isn't
Have
enough?
it be like Deadly Premonition 2018.
Yeah.
Just have it numbered like Madden.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I would absolutely be.
Mine would be a Star Trek Online, but not the Star Trek Online that exists. Like an actual mega galaxy where every starship, Federation starship, actually has hundreds of people on it doing cool little jobs, and planets are fully, like I'm talking massively multiplayer. Star
Sort of
Trek.
like EVE Online, but each ship has like a crew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but,
cool.
but yeah, just take actually take Star Trek: The Next Generation and turn it into a massively multiplayer online video game. It would take way too much money.
I think it's impossible.
It would take way too much. Even if you could make that game, it would probably take 15 years just to build that game. But there you go. That's my choice.
Here's the problem. Who do you put on like the weapons, the photons, or what do they use? They use photons.
You got to work your way up.
Yeah. Well, no, the guy
You're
in
like
there is
Space Janitor at the beginning.
Yeah.
like, here's what happens in that scenario. Oh, we got a combat scenario. Everybody on deck. Guys on the lasers. What are you doing? You hear a bong hit in the background.
Yeah, there's like, there's like this one
totally
guy
not-
whose mic isn't
Sorry,
working.
man.
Well, there's one guy who's like playing music in the background. You can hear it through his mic, so
Yeah.
no one else can hear what anyone else is saying.
Turn off the rap.
Yeah. That's when you get court-martialed or space-marshaled.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Just throw you out of the game. We'll just
The
eject you into
12-year-old's like
space.
You
your
get put in the
best
dunce
guy.
server.
You got it right.
It's a tough question.
Yeah, it's good though. Michael Hamilton, if you could revive any Xbox IP, but you also had to put one IP out to pasture, what would you revive and which would you destroy?
Bring back Splinter Cell, kill Assassin's Creed.
Actually,
Actually,
not an Xbox. Those Ubisoft is not a wholly owned subsidiary.
what's good point? What's dead? And actually, Origins looks really cool.
I just say kill Alan Wake, but Alan Wake's already dead, so it's like I don't just kill it again anyway.
What are Xbox franchises that are dead?
Mech War. Well, Mech Assault.
Yeah.
Is
Crimson Skies.
Crimson Skies.
And then like bring back would be Banjo.
yeah, Banjo's MIA.
Bring back the mech game.
Well, any of the rare stuff, pretty much. I would bring back Conquer.
Ah, that's
What would you kill?
What am I
Death Force
killing?
99.
I'm killing. Can't kill Scalebound. It's already dead.
Oh.
Say that. That's an easy answer.
Bring
Just
back
say
the
what?
mech
Kill
game. Kill
Scalebound.
Marty's banjo idea.
No.
You know what? I would say I would rather have that than Crackdown. So
Yeah.
I would say sorry, Crackdown.
Yeah, can I say?
Crackdown?
Oh no, which
If
one
I-
do you want to bring back?
Conquer.
Oh, okay.
Oh, can I
Like a-
can
like
I
a big
cheat?
budget
Can I
content.
cheat and say bring
Yeah.
back all those rare IP?
No.
Rare replay, but
Rare replay, but it's all new
it's not
games.
replay
Rare
anymore.
new play.
It's just rare.
Rare new play.
Bring
Rare
back Donkey
play.
Kong Country.
30 new games.
Wait.
Yeah.
And
RC Pro M Next Generation.
yeah,
What are you getting rid of?
Perfect Dark Next.
the hardcore Forza games. I still want Horizon.
Motorsport.
Motorsports.
Oh, those. Ones
I
like.
don't agree with that at all. Yeah. No,
Oh wow,
that's bad.
I'm sorry. So Banjo's dead. Congrats. You have the bear
She
blood
votes
and
to kill
bird
Banjo
blood on your
also.
hand.
You're gonna why of all things you could choose, why would you get rid of Forza Motorsport?
Because there's not that many current active IP. There's the 2 Forzas.
That's
there's
why
Gears,
you say
there's
Alan
Halo.
Wake. Just
It's not a-
entertain the idea that it's
not
active.
I'm sorry, I answered the question.
Just
with a heart-
pretend.
Name something that's active. Are you gonna kill Halo? Gears?
No.
Cuphead?
Can I kill?
Don't kill
Can I
Cuphead.
kill
You can't do
Crackdown
that.
and bring back Scaledown?
Oh,
Yeah, you
that'd
could,
be an
actually.
interesting toss-up.
You
All right, I
could.
kill Halo Wars. I don't care about that. I care
I
about
could kill
Forza
Halo
Motorsport
Wars,
less than
yeah.
Halo.
Well,
Yeah.
ensemble. It's like you're killing them
Well,
all
they're
over
already-
again.
Okay, well, all right. You can't answer this question while thinking about the people.
Those poor people, their children.
Oh no!
Okay, all developers have children. Less than
All
developers.
developers.
don't actually.
Wow, Marty. All right.
Well, the ones
Okay.
that don't have human children, their game is their child.
Yeah.
They.
You gave my child a 6.
It's kind of sad if you think.
Oh man.
I don't like this question.
Well,
We're fighting.
This segment's going real
Tearing
badly.
our family apart.
Okay, Khalid Albadoodle wonders, what is your favorite controller of all time? Doesn't have to be Xbox, obviously. Just wondering,
is.
favorite controller.
It is
Yeah,
the
mine.
best controller of all time.
Which one?
The Pro.
The current
I
one?
think I
The Elite?
agree. Yeah.
I also agree.
Yeah.
So it's the
It's
best controller ever made. I thought the 360 was the best
Me
controller
too.
ever made, but at the time, I thought the Xbox One controller improved on that, even though I know some people criticize the bumpers.
I
never
thought
had
it was a little
problem
bit
with
too
them.
big when I first held it, and then I got used to it and went back to a 360 controller and was like, oh no,
Yeah,
this is
and
much better.
The Elite's better, and even though, unfortunately, nobody uses it, but the haptic feedback in the triggers, in the 3 games that use it, is cool. It's a
Yeah.
really cool thing when it's utilized properly. You got any?
Yeah, I mean,
unanimous here, Marty.
My
or-
thing is, I think controllers just keep getting better. So I play most third-party games on my PS4, so I'm more comfortable with it. But I think the DualShock 4 and the Elite are the
thing-
2, probably my 1 and 2
Whenever I'm
favorite
playing
controller of all time.
PS4, I have to move my own thumb all the time. I have to do this to my thumb.
your thumb okay?
Because it slips forward on the thumbstick. So
Ah.
I have to and I wonder if that's because I'm so used to playing on Xbox One. I literally
just
have to
small?
adjust my hand all the time on a DualShock.
No, I don't know. I
Drives
play.
me
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm pretty comfortable swapping, but Sean refuses to play on a PlayStation. He's like, I can't do it. I need staggered sticks.
That's the thing. If they would take for PS5, if they would just for DualShock 5, yes, offset the sticks, and they would go a long way towards
Yeah.
making me happy.
Yeah, I think that's what it
I guess
is.
my thing is I don't play like Sean plays primarily like Twitch-based
Yeah.
shooters, and I don't like. I don't know. I put 105 hours into Persona, and that's not.
Yeah.
At no
Let's
point
just-
was I really worried about.
I'm just with anything where I'm
reflexes.
running a lot, then I just have to.
I don't know. That's weird. I don't. Is like.
Let's-
It's
Is the grip coming off on
That
the
was
hand?
ultimately why I chose the 360 over the PS3 on launch, just because
There was a
Don't do that to
reason.
me.
There
So
was
if he's nuts, I'm with you. I have
Yeah.
the same thing where I'll just play and then it's like, boop,
Weird.
there it goes.
Get your thumbs. Just get control of your thumbs, guys.
There's a reason the Xbox controller is the most copied, and there is a reason that it's paired with almost every product that you like. The
I mean, that's
Oculus, for
part of why I
example.
say it's
'cause
the best.
fantastic.
Is because it works with the Oculus, it works with PC, it works very, very seamlessly with those things as well. And I think that's part of why it's the best.
There's a reason those guys partnered. It's because it's the best controller.
To be fair, I think DualShock 4 is officially supported on PC.
On PC now,
isn't
it is,
yeah.
That was semi-recent.
Worst
so.
controller of all time is the N64 controller.
I have
I
a
have
fondness for it, but it
nostalgia.
is really bad.
I have nostalgia.
I got-
literally a third of it is useless.
I got one that tops that.
Why
'cause
does
I
it
own the
even-
system.
Duke.
Atari Jaguar. It had a keypad, like a 12-button keypad at the bottom.
That was a weird thing for developers at the time. They had so many different ways to develop games that
Well,
I
like
played
the,
a first-person
the standards
shooter
have
on
it
that
set,
thing.
Yeah.
Aliens versus Predator, the original.
Yeah.
N64 controller was you'd hold it like that, and then one hand over there, but then occasionally you'd have to press the AV button, so you just it was.
Well, you would never, no game use the D-pad section.
Yeah.
You're just holding it like a weird.
I
fishing
think you'll
rod.
find actually Pokemon Stadium did.
This game sucks.
There was that Chansey game that was Chansey.
I know you
had
talk
to,
about the
do
Chancey game a weird amount.
I'm very
Right.
aggressive when it comes to that game.
Louis Martin, as someone who is
Hey,
still
we met Louis
yeah, that's
last
right.
week.
Yeah.
Hello, Louis.
excellent. He asks, as someone who is still relatively new to the Xbox ecosystem, do the earlier iterations of the Microsoft staples, i.e. Gears, Halo, Forza, hold up today, or would it be better to just jump straight into the current gen version?
Oh,
This is a
my-
really good question.
They remade them.
I say play the remakes. Yeah, definitely, because you go back and play
What's
Gears
the
1,
less-
it's a little dated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Forza less so. I think Gears still holds up.
Yeah, I think so
agree.
too because it's such a good feeling game,
Yeah.
and that like third person cover system is so effective that it still
Yeah.
feels smooth.
But you
Same
have the
thing with Halo.
remake, and the remake's fantastic.
Yeah, that's
so,
what
like,
Yeah.
I totally mean. Yeah, start with the remake.
But I think if you didn't, I think playing Gears 1 or Halo 1 still works. Forza, I would think not.
Yeah, there's Forza by design. There's you would never go back to the original Forza Motorsport. You just play 7.
yeah, it's
Halo is one that holds up fairly well. But again,
Yeah.
bunch of remakes out there that you can play for like an updated
I mean,
version.
that's just a testament to good game design. Like,
Yeah.
we had, Cisco in our office was replaying Call of Duty 2 the other day on PC.
Yeah, I remember.
and it still looked incredible, and it still
Yeah.
played great. Like, I mean, that's a 11-year-old game.
Yeah.
Even Fable you could go back to.
Oh,
as well.
absolutely. Yeah.
Original Fable.
Back to that all the
Yeah.
time.
I guess.
There's a few where it works. There's
Yeah.
a few where, like Forza, for example, it's just like cars look better.
Although I
in
will
that
say,
version.
even though the 3 Forza Horizons, they've gotten successively from starting from really good to now unbelievable. But just because they're set in different places, the first one was in. You could go back to Horizon 1 if you wanted to. I
Well,
would
you'd
start.
have to start with Horizon 1 though. I don't think you could go from 3 to 1. I think that would be hard
Oh
because
no,
there'd be
yeah,
so
you're
many
totally
features
right.
missing
Yeah.
that would drive you crazy.
Yeah, no, you'd have to you'd have
Work
to
your
start
way
early.
up. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. We got a couple more here. Garvin Edwards, what do you guys think will be the top-selling piece of hardware this holiday season? And I guess he's given us a list, and I guess we're sticking to this list. So the Xbox One X, the Switch, the PS4 Pro, or PlayStation VR. So apparently we're leaving out vanilla PS4 and Xbox One S
I would
from
say,
this list.
sorry, I would say Switch, but they have a terrible time of keeping inventory. So I think that's going to limit how many they're going to be able to sell for the holiday season. The X, I think it's going to sell out like when it comes out initially because all the hardcore people are going to pre-order and it's going to be hard to get to start. So again, limited inventory. It also comes out later. It's not out yet. It comes out.
That's
in
true, November 7th, yeah.
So that puts them at a disadvantage. So for those reasons, I'm going to say Pro because it's on the market. There's plenty of inventory. There's no issues.
I actually think it'll be the Switch.
I
Of
think
these,
Switch as well.
of
Yeah.
these, I think Nintendo. We've started to see the retail supply increase a little bit. I was able to snag one. Like they were up on one of the major retailer websites for like not just 5 seconds. Like it was up there for at least a whole morning, if not longer. And I was able to get one for my nephews that I'm going to sit on till Christmas. So yeah, I think as that gets better and better, I think the Switch is going to be the top seller of those. Obviously, it's going to be the real answers, the Xbox One S,
Yes.
or the vanilla PS4.
Yeah.
Like flip a coin.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's just an inventory issue for me. Like, if I knew Switch was going to have plenty of inventory, Switch. Like, that's going to be the Christmas gift this year, probably. You know, X, they're gonna launch limited
they'll be
inventory.
right. Exactly.
So-
You're exactly correct. It'll be a supply issue, not necessarily. Plus, and again, hey, it's $500 versus these other ones are roughly half that.
Where's my pre-order, Phil?
It's intended to be a premium thing, not a sell 10 million of them at once thing.
I want my pre-order links, Phil.
One day. Two more. Joshua Faley. If you could pull a Mitch Dyer and write for a gaming franchise, write a game for an existing franchise, which franchise would you write for? I think I can start here. I would love a crack at Halo. I'd probably need a fresh start. I don't know if I could write my way out of where they are now, but I've always loved Halo, and I've been playing them all the way, and I've been championing them when I love them and critical when I don't. I couldn't do it, to be clear. That is the 343 are the professionals. There's a reason I'm sitting here behind this desk. But I think I would take a crack at a Halo game.
Sam goes into a dimly lit room. Turn off the mobile. What's a mobile? They have an in-depth conversation about it. That's a throwback to the Unlocked episode where I didn't know what a mobile was.
The callback no one was looking for.
Yeah, probably. I think Splinter Cell or any stealth game would be fun to write for.
Thief?
Modern
All right.
stealth. Yeah.
Splinter Cell's good. That's a good choice. Over on this side of the table.
Fable, South Park, or Gears.
South
Fable would
Park.
be really fun. South Park is because it's my favorite show ever, and I would love to be able to write for South Park, just in general. Also would never be able to do that. And then Gears is because I feel like I know it really intimately, and I'm very attached to that universe. I feel like Gears is the one that I could do of those things. The rest, not really. Fable, I guess. You can say whatever you want. You throw swears at people. Yeah. I can do that.
Create some sort of
Sarah.
create
Oh,
some sort
come
of
on.
really destructive precipitation.
Yeah.
What kind of person?
Freezer hail.
I think I would Red Dead maybe. Westerns are my favorite
Yeah.
genre.
I could see you.
of
Getting
fiction
down with
and movies. So I feel like I'd like a stab at a
that'd be
Western.
cool.
Yeah.
So close.
Yeah.
Is it? Well, so it's all. For all
we
we know,
think.
it's
I
delayed.
kind of stopped
I think
thinking
it's
about it.
Yeah. I think it's next.
That's what they want. Don't.
Doesn't matter. I mean, they're putting
Why would they
billions of dollars into that game, so it's
That
gonna,
game's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's canceled. What?
That's one of those games I'll play a lot of. Red Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
Finally, Rob Bowman. What now defunct third-party games could Xbox acquire as first-party exclusives? I have to immediately.
Oh, the Splinter Cell
take
segment.
Splinter Cell, yeah. That's just, I mean, that's the clear winner for me. Just bring it back. Let's bring it back.
Crisis. And
Good.
Rise.
Right.
Both same company,
Look at
right?
yeah, Crytek.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just buy Crytek.
They
That would
probably
be a really good
Crisis and
alignment.
Rise
for
are
Xbox.
interesting choices.
Just buy Crytek.
Like I feel like another Rise game could be really good. That first game. I
another
It was.
Rise would be really
it had
good.
such a good premise. Like just
Story was great. Lead
Yeah.
character was great.
That ending was great.
Yes.
There was segments that I really liked.
kinda
The
what
Kinect support, which I really like. That Marty always makes fun of me for.
yes, I do.
I also really like Crisis.
Fire!
It was great.
Yeah,
it was
cool.
so much
That was
fun.
good use.
I
Why
feel like
haven't they bought them yet? That'd be so smart.
Well, they
Hey, it sounds
they
like that
fell
company's a
apart
disaster.
in a fire. Yeah.
it was not a fire. You can't
It
say it
may
was
as
a
well
fire.
have been a fire.
An
It's
emotional
cheap.
fire. No, there wasn't
it
an
was an
actual fire.
emotional
No, they really fell apart.
I feel like we bring this up a lot. The thing that X party or the Xbox first party lineup is missing that Sony has had in spades this year are big meaty single player games. So Horizon, Persona, Nier, Neo, yeah, that kind of stuff. So I feel like from defunct stuff, bringing back Prince of Persia, bringing
Good
back
one.
Jade Empire.
Yep.
Sony Santa Monica. Buy Sony Santa.
Yeah, but yeah, no one's doing anything with that Gears of War, right? Yeah, or God of War. Too many GFWs. G's of War.
Yeah. Good stuff.
You know.
All right. Thank you all so much for sending in those questions at the last second on our Unlocked Facebook group. Let's move to what little news we have,
Whoa.
starting with Rainbow Six Siege continuing. You talk about legs. This is, and particularly in the world of first-person shooters, there are not a lot of shooters that have legs like this. 20 million registered players, 2.3 million people logging on every day.
I still play this game occasionally. It's not a lot of stuff that I go back to, but I still play Siege occasionally. It's really good.
It's so good.
It's very hard. I scream while playing Siege. Like it's not a horror game,
Who's
but it'll be like I'll be
who's
just
your
like,
class? Who do you like?
I play as the lady. The
You have to refresh because I reviewed this game, but it was a long time
oh
ago.
well, she's newer than that. She's
What's
DLC,
her?
But I started
oh,
with.
she's a new
pack.
character.
I couldn't tell you the name of the class.
He was in the first pack, I think, right?
Yes.
Can't remember her name either.
Yeah,
But I really like the.
Rook?
I have no idea. Yes. No. Rook's what you start. I like there's a class that you can automatically break down any barriers.
Well, that's
and
I
like
Sledge.
that a lot. Is that Sledge?
Sledge is my where you
I'm
just take
terrible
a
with it.
sledgehammer.
So I liked that class
go
a whole
right
lot.
to a wall.
But pretty much anything that'll give me a shotgun, I tend to like.
Your close quarters player.
Oh, I kind of changed. I feel like I. But the girl was I played as because she looked like. It's
It's like a
really
SWAT
good
police officer, right? That's, well, I guess never mind. They're all cops.
Yeah, I think so.
They all kind of look like that.
There's an ability that lets you shoot through walls.
Guns.
You mean lets you see through them and know where enemies are?
No. There's
That's
a-
the heartbeat tracker thing, right?
Yeah.
That's also cool.
Yeah.
I do a lot of scouting as well in that game, which is something that I love. Like the little
Yes.
the way they jump. Like that's so much fun.
Yeah,
You get caught and it's terrifying.
Free mission.
It's just a
scouting.
really good game. It's really, really intense, and like you think you're fine on a floor, and you're like scoping things out, and then you hear a gunshot, and you're just freaking out. It's
Then your wall starts breaking apart, and you're like, "Oh no!"
yeah. I'm not great with the barriers though. I don't do a ton of that.
You saying SWAT just made me want
SWAT.
the return of you guys remember who did the last SWAT game?
Ken Levine, right?
Ken Levine.
Yeah.
Irrational did SWAT 4 years ago. Gosh, that must have been like 2000, 2001, 2002 kind of time
I
frame.
feel like Siege is one of the first games that I played that is like in part stealth, where there's barbed wire. Like, can you think of anything
you
else
down.
that had that? Yeah, but it also makes noise, and like that. I feel like that's a
Gears
really interesting
3's Horde mode
Oh, you're
did
totally
that,
right.
You would put it
where
down.
you'd put that
Yeah,
down,
but
and then your
I feel
enemies
like that
could try to
almost
come
doesn't
through
count,
it.
But it does slow them down. It does
Yeah.
that in 4 as well.
Yeah.
You got to shoot it with your shotgun until
Yeah.
it breaks
Like,
apart.
how do you carry that around in war?
Yeah.
Isn't that super annoying? Like, who carries the barbed wire?
That'd be interesting. Like Call of Duty World War II, you throw down something and people get stuck in it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know this game has kind of become almost a platform now. You know, they're just building off of it. But
What are they doing
gotta
right now?
hop back
It's
in.
I forgot what it's called. They're basically fixing a bunch of stuff right now. It's like Operation.
Dumbo drop.
No, they haven't. It's definitely not that.
Was a film.
They have a name for it where they basically delayed the last piece of DLC that they were supposed to put out because they wanted to patch or something. They just wanted to fix a bunch of stuff that was wrong with it that I didn't even realize was wrong with it.
I do hope, though. So I mean,
Really bad with names.
a sequel is inevitable, I think, at this point, even though they are clearly just evolving this one and having it have a super long tail. But when I just hope when the sequel eventually does arrive, that they go the Titanfall 2 Battlefront 2 route and have a
Single player.
super kick-ass
Yeah.
single-player game attached to it as well.
Rainbow Six
As-
Vegas 2 is still one of my favorite single-player experiences. Like, I love that
was really good.
so much. And then I was devastated when they announced that Siege wasn't going to have one. It's like, just, even if it's short, you know? Like, and
Well,
the co-op in that was so good as well.
the secret unlockable mission if you do all the little trial things and
See, we're really bad. You reviewed it, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago. But it's with the chemical weapons attack thing, and you're going in with the gas mask. Like that totally. I said this in the review. That was like a tease. That was like, see, we could have made a single player out of this. We just didn't. But here's what it would look like, and it would be really
Well,
good.
Yeah, maybe they had it at some
No,
point
I get-
and
I get-
decided against it.
Of course. But yeah, let's get that.
Vegas 2, you could command your squad mates and be like,
Go.
like it
that
was so much
concept
fun.
they released. That's the
Like
kind
what?
of thing you're thinking. Like, remember the concept they released that never came to light?
Well,
Patriots?
Patriots was
Yeah.
a
Patriots,
different.
yeah.
I mean, that was a single player game that would
I'm
have
saying that
also-
would have been cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
Ubisoft just doesn't do that as much anymore.
Division,
I mean,
sorta.
But even that, I wouldn't say is like the story that I would want from Rainbow Six.
It's fun building up your base, but then after that, it's kind of like, you're done.
That was cool. I like that, and like having to pick which parts you were unlocking.
yeah. So, good stuff in the Rainbow Six universe. Spotify, for those of you that are Spotify users, the Spotify app appears to be imminent for Xbox One. It's all but confirmed. It has a product page on Xbox.com. You just can't download it yet. So, the highlight of this appears to be apparently you can play your music in the background of any game. So you can just get that app going and then launch a game, and all your music's there. So
That's awesome.
that is pretty good. And just a couple other notes. Thumper is on the way to Xbox One.
Was
So, Marty, you
under
played
the
this?
table collapse?
Yeah.
I want to play it too.
I've
Recently,
played
on
a lot of
Switch.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, this game's great. You mentioned PSVR. Yeah, it's really cool in VR. It's also great non-VR. It's
I've only played it on Switch.
it's a rhythm based.
You're on a track and you're a little bug, and you have to press buttons in time with like things that are streaming towards you in like a Guitar Hero kind of way, but based on the way that the thing looks, there's a different button combination, and some of them are really complicated. Like
Yeah.
press A and hold up, and then press down at the right time, and some things are like if you get it wrong, it'll kill you, and you have to start the level again. So it's
Yeah.
super intense.
The game is
and
just
really
a
hard.
sensory overload. I think they coined the term rhythm violence simulator
Kind of.
because the game is just like increases your heartbeat, gets incredibly intense.
Absolutely. I played a bunch of it on a plane and felt like my heartbeat was like increasing
Yeah.
just sitting there because the game's like just so. And I feel like I don't blink when I play. it.
Yeah, it reminded me a little bit of like Super Hexagon if you've ever played that on your phone, where it's something you can pop in every once in a while, but really cool and just unique in terms of games on Xbox. So people should check that out.
And you mentioned Guitar Hero a lot. It almost sounds like a game that we would have expected
A little bit.
Harmonix to make.
Yeah, like almost like amplitude frequency kind of.
Yeah, and it sounds good. Like it's not. I feel like the sound is not as satisfying as other rhythm games, like Child of Eden or like things like that. Like Sound Shapes. It's not quite as nice as that, but it does sound really cool and look cool. I think it's awesome. Depends how much it is, I guess.
Cool. We'll look for that on Xbox One next Friday. And finally this week, Titanfall is not done yet. You know, the story has been told now of the legend of Fall 2016 and how that didn't really go so well, relatively speaking, for Titanfall being sandwiched directly between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Nailed it. Saved it. But Respawn CEO Vince Zampella, he talked to GameSpot and he said, "It's important for us to keep the franchise going. We have our franchise creative director who's in charge of safeguarding the franchise in multiple formats and making sure it continues to grow." Zampella went on to stress that Respawn is, quote, heavily invested in the Titanfall universe, saying that there's content that they're working on that hasn't been announced yet. He says, "We're working on more Titanfall. We're not announcing what that is yet. There's a few other things in the works." I'm glad to hear this. I mean,
Yeah.
Thank God.
2 was such a criminally
It was
not
appreciated.
underrated. Yeah, not underrated.
Undersold.
It got great scores. Just
Undersold.
under seen. Not enough
Yeah.
people played it and saw
It
it.
was very fun. A lot of cool mechanics. I hope they make 3, and well, they're gonna make 3. It sounds like.
Seems
I
like
feel
it.
like they would be done
Yeah.
one too.
Hopefully, it'll be out in February.
I mean, if it's not
Or
selling, it's you
August.
always running that danger.
True.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
How did they make it better? Like, it's fantastic.
you don't need to make it like you just don't release it when they did. And
Yeah.
I still can't fathom why they did that. Seems like such a stupid
When
move.
did it launch?
An EA thing.
It was the first week in November, like you said. It was literally
right between.
it was in between Call of Duty
Battlefield.
and Battlefield.
Around March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the first one came out early in the year.
Yep, March.
It was a
Yeah.
March
Like a
2014 Xbox
Yeah.
exclusive. And it was, and it got a ton of attention.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
But it also
Played the
had
crap
too
out
much
of the first
missing.
one.
Yeah.
Like, it was one of those games that you played in an event and it was the best thing ever, and then you played it at home and you got sick of it, kind of like Evolve. Like, I've actually played a lot of it, but I think it had too much missing.
Yeah,
for
but 2
people to be
rectified
excited.
all of that, and then it just came out at a dumb time.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it didn't rectify it enough.
It addressed every single falling that the original had and did not get rewarded for it.
Yeah.
I wonder, man, I got to get like Andrew Wilson in here and be like, and
What's up with that? Yeah.
hey, come, let's talk.
I would think
just,
it's-
there are no cameras right now.
I would
Let's-
definitely think it's an EA call and not.
I would
Oh yeah,
think so.
I would 100% think it's
Yeah, I can't imagine Vince Zampella was like, yes, please release my game in my burgeoning franchise directly between
These
your
two.
own other game
Yeah.
in the family that's huge and the single biggest IP in not called Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's rough.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to like. That's the almost literal video game rock in a hard place.
Yeah.
They were caught
Yeah.
between on that.
I'm just curious for what the future of Respawn is between.
Yeah, me too.
With
Star
Titanfall,
Wars.
then with Star Wars. Yeah. I don't know. Should be interesting.
All right. Marketplace report. There might be a few more ID at Xbox games dropping as the week goes on, but I've pulled everything that's up for now between last episode and when we're recording today. Alana, what is out there to spend money on?
Retail, still nothing. Digital, we have Telltale's Batman: The Enemy Within, Episode 1, The Enigma.
Which I reviewed. Yeah, I was gonna wait till
Sentence.
the full season came out because that's what I did with season 1, and I loved playing it that way. But Dan Stapleton was like, "Please
Here you
review
go."
this for us." So I was like, "Okay," but
thumbs
yeah,
up,
no,
thumbs
I really
Nice.
liked it. Yeah, it is clear. This is what I liked about season 1 is that it's a very adult M-rated, like all bets are off kind of take on Batman. There are a couple of well-established characters that they just absolutely
Flip on their
flip
heads.
the script
Yep.
on.
Yeah.
And it's clear from episode 1 that there are going to be a lot of very dire and permanent consequences for characters again in season 2, and I really like the first episode. It's about the Riddler, as the title The Enigma suggests.
Oh.
But it's actually he's the least interesting character in in episode 1. But everybody else pays off and sets up some really cool narrative
So
arcs.
Do you play the original series or do you start here? Is this different?
I mean, it's season 2. You could start here.
Yeah, I would think
I feel like you should
I
play
would
the
suggest
original
playing
one.
season 1.
Okay.
Yeah. And season 1 has ups and downs, but I think ultimately I had a positive experience.
Yeah, I
Me
feel
too.
like I
I'm pretty sure.
averaged like a close to an 8. I think it was a high 7 was the average because I reviewed most of that season.
Yeah.
And, like, I think episode 2 was my favorite, I'm pretty sure.
Ooh,
And, yeah, there was things that I really liked and things that I didn't like so much, but still worth it, I
Yeah,
think.
it
Especially
throwing
with
sort of
price.
Batman tropes and stereotypes on its head, I thought was really cool, and sticking to it. You know?
Yeah. So that's $5. Race Arcade is $10. Mr. Shifty is $15. The Way is $10. And oh, sir, the Insult Simulator is $3. Hey, what's up with that? What's that game?
Oh, sir.
You're an idiot
The
for not
insult
knowing.
simulator?
Boom, insult simulated.
Oh,
Nailed it.
dang.
Yeah,
It's just-
you got absurd.
It's just a negging simulator.
I actually put that on every night before I go
Marketplace, August games with gold. We have Slime Rancher, August 1 to 31 on Xbox One. Trials Fusion, welcome to
Every week for a
August
month.
16 to September 15, Xbox One. Bayonetta, August 1st to 15th on Xbox 360 and Xbox One. And Red Faction Armageddon, August 16 to 3. Again, Ryan?
Yeah, clearly
Get over
copy
it.
and paste it. Just
31,
get over it.
Xbox 360
It goes
and
back
Xbox
in
One.
time.
It's because I don't know if it's 30 or 31, man. It
You
just
said
says
31 at the
I
top.
assume
though.
it's 31.
It's right there.
Oh man.
Machine,
All right.
the future.
Let's do a little trivia.
All right.
Still a 4-point advantage for Marty. Destin beginning to have panic
Sweat.
attacks. Yeah.
Got the meat sweats.
That flop sweat.
Definitely don't know the answer.
Joe Arroyo asks, during the original Xbox Live beta, so we're talking 2002 right now, what unpublished game, a game that wasn't out yet, was given to testers during the beta?
I was 9 years old.
That's not my problem.
That's a good point.
Marble Madness Online, Revolt, RC Pro-Am, or Marathon? Us olds, this is a layup for me.
Marty probably knows.
I love that
No,
none
no.
of you know this.
I don't.
You're all off the show.
I was 9.
You saw Dunkirk this weekend. That was about events that were from when you were negative.
Oh,
40.
you're right. Dunkirk, the events of that are very similar to the original Xbox
You know
Live
about
beta.
World War II. That excuse
Yeah,
of
of
I
equal
was like,
importance.
that excuse I wasn't old enough is such BS. That's such crap. You realize you're able to watch movies from before you were born?
Yeah,
go
one
watch
of these
the
things
Xbox Live
is about
movie
World War
on it.
II, and one of
you're
them
able
is
to watch
about the
movies.
original
Have you ever
Xbox
watched
Live
Star Wars?
beta.
Do you know anything about StarArs? That was from before you were born.
I only watched Star Wars for the first time last year.
That's just because you're bad at keeping up with art.
It was before I was born.
Shut up!
So I'm gonna
Such
say
a bad excuse.
Looks like nobody
I
knows
do not
this,
think this is
except
bad.
for me.
Well, I get to guess, right?
Go guess.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
I'll go with C.
Okay, Marty.
I did D marathon. It doesn't matter. Get me out of here.
I was gonna go with A.
Okay. All you losers got it wrong.
Damn it, it's B!
Uh,
It was literally a coin flip because I know the top and bottom one came out on 360.
Yeah, Marathon came. They sort of ported it. The original, Mac version came out as an Xbox Live Arcade game. RC Pro-Am never came to Xbox until the rare replay.
Yeah.
And then Marble Madness Online. I don't even know if that's a real thing.
I had
I
a
thought
marble game, but
Revolt
it wasn't
wasn't a
Marble
game.
Madness.
Yeah, I mean there was Marble Madness. I don't know if there's an online version, but yeah,
There was.
Revolt. So all right, nobody
Don't
gets any
call this a
points.
layup. This isn't a layup. This is
I
like
said for us old.
This is a blindfolded half court shot.
I guess I'm really good at those.
I hate that we all
Madness
take
was
different
an
answers.
early
None of
indie
us
game
got
with
it.
Crap.
online. Yeah.
What?
Marble Madness was an early 360 online game with online play, like an indie game.
Yeah.
A smaller game.
Well then, we've set the record straight there. Please try to stump these fools again.
that.
I
The
went Revolt. I needed that point.
send your Xbox trivia question. Include 4 multiple choice answers. Note the correct one in your email, and please email it to unlocked@ign.com, and we'll try again next week. Destin.
Sorry.
I'm not here next week.
Oh, even better. You can shovel more dirt on his grave.
Are we filming on Monday as well?
I don't know. I have to look at the calendar. I don't think so. I think this was the only Monday one. I think it might be Thursday
next week?
I'll check. We'll find out.
Wait, what time Thursday?
Oh, you're busy.
I'm here
No one,
Thursday.
no one cares that's listening.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's
okay.
look over our studio schedule for the next 6 months and
yeah,
let everyone
live on
listen
the
to it.
air because that's compelling radio. That's what we do here. Anyway, Destin, what are you up to?
I'm doing the big PUBG thing today. That's happening later today, so look for that on IGN
Great.
soon.
Cool.
Follow me on Twitter @Destin Legary, and still streaming at twitch.tv/the Destin channel. Thanks for everybody who stopped by.
Excellent. Alana?
The IGN show on Disney XD is my life, and that is starting to air again. We took a 2-week break. Next week, we don't know exactly what time at weeknights, basically, so catch us there.
Check your local listings. That's what they say. In
They
TV
do
Guide.
say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that
Yeah, Marty?
in TV Guide.
There's
This
a
isn't
magazine that hasn't aged
yeah,
well, huh?
right. This isn't on Xbox, but when's this going up?
This, I probably will just put it up ASAP.
Okay, never mind.
Never mind. Okay.
Embargo.
I don't have anything.
Whatever, you got to think of
Do
it.
Embargo
the
up
embargo
No, it's out tomorrow.
song.
There's a good game coming out tomorrow.
Midnight.
Good.
right?
Check it.
All right. Love that.
Tomorrow.
/ maybe today.
Whenever you're listening to this.
Go play Hellblade.
And yeah, I'm on DMC_Ryan for me on Twitter. And like I said, Batman Season 2, Episode 1 reviewed there. I'm shooting an unfiltered this week, which I'm very excited about. So I think it's going to go up either next week or the week after.
Cool.
So that show is still going. No one's canceled it on me yet, which I appreciate. And I think that wraps it up. So let's go. We got games. Well, I think next week we'll do
Gamescom predictions.
yeah, we'll have a thing for that you'll see before Gamescom, and whatever else. At least now, theoretically, next week's show will be packed because it'll be like a week and a half's worth of.
Halo
Yeah.
6 will get announced and
Yeah.
canceled.
Yeah.
So we could talk about the meteoric rise and fall of that game.
Scalebound
You mean
2
like
will be
6
announced.
Days in Fallujah?
Yeah.
That's about how
Yeah.
that
Background will be
went.
delayed.
Yeah.
I was there for that Konami event where
Yeah.
they're like, here's this new game from Atomic. This it's actually this ex-Bungie guy named Peter Tomta. 6 Days in Fallujah, super realistic Iraq
yeah.
war. Oh, you mean that thing we're all still in right now and is really sensitive to the lives of many families in America? Yeah, that. Okay. And then before I could even write about it in official Xbox magazine, it's canceled.
Yeah.
It was literally
Yeah.
canceled like 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Mooch the game.
Ooh.
Topical.
Yikes to that too.
Anyway, for Marty, Alana, and Destin, I'm Ryan. This was Unlock 308. We'll see you guys next week.